What is up, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? Welcome, everybody. Okay, I see people getting live in the chat already. Good evening and happy New Year's, everybody. I don't think I've had a live this year yet, right? So, happy New Year's, everybody. Welcome to everybody that's hanging out in the chat right now. Who do we have? I saw Foxy in here earlier. Foxy's still here. Miss Dizzle. I see Dubs, Jad. Who else? Sydney's here. Chris Paul. What up, homie? What's good? Mac Dizzle's in the house. Della Dang Bean Baby. Chloe. Terry. Jazzy Jess. My mod Jad. Did I say Terry already? What up, y'all? Felicia. Hi, Felicia. All right. I see Bean Baby in the house. Bean Baby. What's up, everybody? How is it going? Can you guys hear me? Type a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear me. I gotta see if this sound works. It is cold. It is cold out here in, I was gonna say sunny Los Angeles, but it's not sunny. It's not sunny at all this weekend. And I'll be honest with you, I think I'm coming down with a little something. I think so. Okay, so I see some ones in the chat. What's going on, you guys? How's it going? Happy New Year's. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody that's in the chat right now. Crazy news coming out, right? I know that all of you guys have been tuned in, locked into this case with D4VD and Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Mac Dizzle says it's cold in Vegas. Okay. Yeah, do me a favor, you guys. If you guys are just tuning in, you guys are just joining us, do me a favor, smash that like button. We're gonna get started in just a minute. I just want to say hello to everybody. It's my first live stream of the new year, so welcome. What is going on? So we'll just kind of wait for this little beat to die down just a little bit, right? We'll just kind of turn this down, right? Because it's gonna get a little serious. Let me find my footing. Where am I at? So as you guys can see right behind me, we do have a brand new tweet from SF Investigates that was posted yesterday. And as for many of you guys all know that yesterday was the 1 year, I guess you can say the 1 year anniversary, or it's been a whole entire year of this reported last proof of life that Steve Fisher has been talking about the past couple of months. And a year later, fast forwarding to 2026, January 2026, on January 2nd, SF Investigates posted that last proof of life photo, which you guys can see right over here, right? So in the tweet, it reads, 1 year ago today, January 2nd, 2025 is the date of the last known photo my investigation has uncovered of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. It is important to emphasize, right? Now listen to this, right? It is important to emphasize that law enforcement investigators have access to more extensive resources and may very well have images or evidence from after this date. This is not to suggest that anything specific happened on that date, only that it is the last confirmed time and date stamped piece of evidence I have showing when Celeste was alive. According to the images metadata, the photo was taken at 5:05 p.m. on January 2nd. Geolocation analysis shows that it was taken in the Baldwin Hills area. So Baldwin Hills, California. Why, Miss Dizzle? My hat had you tripping? Is it because it's upside down? Are you sure you're not tripping? Yeah, the flu is going around. It definitely is. I hope you guys are staying safe. California is drowning. At least LA is. It's been raining crazy. And yeah. So what do you guys think of this? What are your thoughts? I wanna read everybody's chats on what they think. Tammy, welcome. Just jumping in. La Mesa Filipino Food Club. Ah, Filipino food. I remember you told me that you guys used to have a restaurant, right? Welcome back. Thank you guys for joining us. Whitney, I see you in the chats. Thank you. Let's see. Flu's going around. Flu's terrible. So yeah, I want to ask you guys, Marissa, how's it going? Welcome. Get some emergency. Oh, we'll talk about some of that emergency later. But yeah, I want to know, everybody, what are your thoughts on this photo, you guys? How does this make you guys feel, knowing that 1 year later, we finally get to see this photo that SF Investigates has been talking about, right? Because let's kind of scroll down a little bit more. Let's kind of go back, right? We're going to go back a couple of tweets. Sorry, you guys, if we're just scrolling away. Hopefully we run into this. When was this posted? Maybe I passed it. I apologize. I should have had this ready to go. Previously, SF posted, this was on November 12th at 7:45 in the morning. On the night of December 30th through the morning of December 31st, 2024, David and Celeste were together in downtown Los Angeles, where several photos were taken in public. Celeste was 14 years old at the time and about 70 miles from her home in Lake Elsinore. Whether she was sober that night is open to interpretation. That's really weird. Actually, I don't even remember him saying this part. Whether she was sober that night is open for interpretation. There is photo evidence of them together again on January 2nd. Then on January 8th, a sizable crew was filming a music video with David out of state. And by January 11th, David is in his hometown in Texas. Then on January 20th, 2025, he's on a Delta flight. And that one, it's funny because he didn't post that photo. But on January 20th, he's on a Delta flight. So the question is, where was Celeste between January 3rd and January 20th? Can anyone account for her during that time? There are many people present at the music video shoot. Did anyone see her there? What about in his hometown in Texas? Does anyone have any proof of life for Celeste Rivas Hernandez after January 2nd? Cindy said, it's another breadcrumb from SF to keep him relevant in this case, in my humble opinion. Foxy, I see you in the chat. What's going on? Welcome. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely sad, right? So let's take a look at this, right? And we'll kind of walk ourselves backwards. So this image that we're looking at right over here, this is an image of, looks like what would be like a little shed or a little barn that appears to have been taken in David's hometown in Texas. So I believe this may be the yard of his parents. And you can just see, obviously, this photo is taken at night. I have no idea how big this yard is. This backyard, side yard, front yard, whatever it is, looks massive. So and this was taken on January 11th, 2025 at 7:24 p.m. So clearly in the evening, right? If we go back one image on January 8th, 2025 at 11:47 a.m. So this was in the morning time, right? You see another photo here of a film crew. You just see a lot of equipment. You see what looks to be like maybe some sort of jib crane, right? That has probably a camera right here. And then a whole bunch of crew members that are probably either discussing or filming, right? And they're shooting a music video. Does anybody know what music video this was? Was this One More Dance? Because I cannot remember. Miss Dizzle said, does SF have the actual camera or just the card? That's a great question, right? Because I remember, now we don't know if he has the camera or if he has the actual card and whatnot. But that's a good question. I know in the Law and Crime interview that he did mention that he had, I don't know if he said the memory cards or not. I remember the last time we were talking about this, Obsidian was here in the chat and she was saying that he didn't specifically say that he had the camera. So to be honest with you, I don't know. Maybe the card was left behind, right? Maybe it was the camera that was left behind. I'm sure we all have our little theories on that, right? but I'm not entirely sure. Marissa said it's sad knowing that this is the last proof of life that we know of. Absolutely, right? And we'll go back to that footage so we can take a look at it. Going back one more photo. Then we have the photo of, this is New Year's Eve, right? But obviously this is the midnight, earlier in the morning, right? The beginning of New Year's Eve, December 30th, 2024, 12:01 and 32 seconds. So basically at midnight, you see David here with what appears to be a switchblade, right? And obviously we don't know for sure if this is David's hand, but only one can assume because in the previous photo or video, we've seen him on Twitch just kind of showing it off, right? Just opening and closing the blade. So it's really hard. It's hard to tell if this is really his hand, but because he has the fingernail polish, right? The black fingernail polish, we're led to speculate that this is David. And then we have this photo right over here on December 30th, 2024 at 11:57:57 we have another photo of Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and this was an image that SF Investigates dropped as little breadcrumbs to kind of ask the question: does anybody know where Celeste has been between January or December 30th to January 20th? And that's kind of been the biggest mystery, right? I think ever since he's posted this, um, I think the whole internet's been scouring, doing what they do to figure out like where could she have been? Does anybody have any proof of life? Um, and I don't know if anybody's been successful in finding anything after January 2nd. So it begs the question: did Celeste Rivas die on January 2nd? Now, again, I do have to emphasize we do not know what evidence the LAPD has after this date. So we do have to take this with a grain of salt, right? Although it's saddening because nobody, and I mean, there have been crazy sleuths on the internet that have been digging and digging and digging, on the Reddits. And there have been some videos, there's been some photos of sites where people thought they may have seen Celeste. And one of those images or videos that I'm talking about is that one, the balcony image, right? A lot of people thought that was Celeste, but it turns out, I think at this point right now, nobody knows who that was. There was a thought that maybe she was at Coachella. And then I believe that was debunked. And they mentioned that that person was another artist who may have just looked like her. Bean Baby says, when was Tara Yummy's birthday party? That I do not know. I don't think he was back from tour yet. Also, if they were 4 months behind, maybe the landlord didn't let him come in to get his stuff. Probably just had to pack it up for themselves. Let's see. Sorry, you guys. I'm reading the chat simultaneously while talking with you guys. So hang tight, hang tight. Anybody here that's just joining the live for the first time? If you are, let me know so I can shout you out. Foxy said on the balcony, I think that's Asia. And you know what, Foxy? That isn't the first time that I've heard that. Some people have mentioned that before. However, we don't know. I mean, we don't have a confirmation that it was or it wasn't her. So it's a little hard to say, right? Do I believe that it was Celeste? I don't think it looks like her. I think if it wasn't second, it could have been the day after or possibly the third. It can be normal to not post or take photos every day. Maybe the day he posted the billboard was the day he did it. Because a pic from a party where she's wearing that do-rag thing is from, I think that's from Noir's birthday party, not Tara's. But I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the photo where David's wearing that black do-rag and they have matching. So Cat's here, another person in the chat that says, I think the balcony is Asia too. So there's another person in the chat that also believes that the person on the balcony could be Asia, right? Is that possible? Yeah. I mean, at this point, anything's possible, right? We have no idea. Nobody's come out and has been identified since that night. Asia has dark hair by the time the show. By the time the show with that chick in the balcony. Oh, okay. So she had dark hair at that time. So it's possible that she did, or that could be her. Very odd, right? And you can tell, and maybe we'll find an image of that one on the balcony soon. But you can tell here that she's got very curly hair here, or wavy hair at least. Let's see. So I do want to kind of take us back to this, right? Now, this is an image of the last proof of life. And I think, the internet has done what the internet needed to do to identify what type of sweater this was. There's been a few options that were thrown out there. And let's see. I cannot believe it's been that long already. I hope that she sees justice soon. She deserves to be able to rest and have this settled. So, if you guys have been digging in the Reddits, right? I did post a photo of. So a lot of people have been debating this photo online. and have been challenging if this image is actually her, right? Um, I have to tell you guys that this image is the same exact image that I pulled from SF Investigates. The only thing that I did was ran it through ChatGPT to have them remove the filter and add a Rec 709 filter. So basically what that does is it gives you a true to life color of what that image looked like without that green. Let me see. Without this green image right here, right? So if you can see this and this, right? And obviously AI is not perfect. And you can see here what it did was sharpen up the image just a little bit, because here, let me see if we can just zoom in a little bit. It doesn't look like we can zoom in that much, but you can see here, this part of the nose isn't the sharpest. It kind of looks blurred right here too on the hands, right? Some people online have been saying that looks like she was on the phone. Do you guys believe that she may have been on the phone? Could she have possibly been talking to somebody? Now, as we mentioned earlier, this image was taken at the Baldwin Hills scenic route, or the scenic overlook. And let's see. This, let me see if we can just. This right here. Okay, let's kind of just start from the beginning, right? Because you really kind of have to just see. And we're going to do a little bit of a walk, you guys, okay? So we're basically going to walk. This is right here on Jefferson. So if you guys continue to go down right here, right? Down this way, you guys can see this is very close to, now if you guys are on the internet, this is 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves is, I believe it's a company created by some Twitch streamers. I don't know if it was Pokimane and a few other people, but this is the 100 Thieves building. So I don't know if this is where they create content. This is where all their workers work. But this is right here on Jefferson. So if you continue to go up right here, you get to this light right over here, you can see that this is where the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook is. Turn left right over here. Now, this is what I want you guys to pay attention to, right? Because if you look... thank you so much. Hey, shout out to Jad, my mod, for hooking y'all up. Where is it? She just donated a membership. So if you received a membership from Jad, please make sure you thank them. Oh, wait, who got it? Mac Dizzleson. Finally, you got that membership. Welcome to the inner circle. Hey, you guys, I forgot to tell you guys in the chat, we have some new emojis. So I don't know if you guys have seen them, but look who it is. That's our friend Nancy Grace and her favorite word. I think it's Celeste in the picture. Shout out to Jazzy Jeff for that $3 super sticker. Thank you. All right, so we did mention earlier, so as soon as you turn left on Jefferson, you take this little walk, or this road up. On the left, you can see they have a pedestrian walkway here. Then you have this no pedestrian on roadway sign right over here. Then you get to this sign. So basically, you really have to walk all the way up this place, right, to kind of get to where that image was taken. Tammy says, I don't know, but I feel like she looks sad. Yeah, it's really hard to tell, right? Yeah, we got Nancy Grace on the emojis right over here. Oh, Mac Dizzle, you're welcome. Welcome to the inner circle, y'all. Okay, so this is going up Hetzler Road. Is that how you say it? Hetzler? So you can see here they have that pedestrian walkway going up. You've got to go all the way up. And this is a pretty steep hill, right? This guy's not supposed to be here. And as you go up, you can see they do have a few houses out here, right? And this is that infamous house that you see in that photo. Where is it at? Right over here. That's this garage or gate walkway. So it looks like this is a little entrance for this house right here. And I want to show you guys like how far you have to walk to get to the parking lot, right? You literally have to go up this road right over here, and hang tight, you guys, because this is gonna be a little walk. Gotta go all the way up here, right? Gotta continue. This area right here is I don't know what kind of building they have here, but only employees. Looks like employees park here. I don't know if this is like a little water plant that they have. But as you go up, you can see how steep this hill gets. Right over here. We're going to continue to walk. Ooh. Now here you can either go up onto the trail, or if you're driving, you can continue up this road right here. Right? Keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. They have this one little area that you can kind of look out over. They have this little radio tower right over here. It's a pretty tall radio tower, if you ask me. And then right here is where you finally get to the parking lot. So this is like a little EV station. I don't know if they have them here. Okay, so I believe now they have like EV charging stations right here. Then they have a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, this kind of leads onto the trail. So you just kind of go there. This is kind of where it takes you, right? Let me catch up on the chats. Let me catch up. Where are we going? We're just taking a look at where. So basically the reason why I wanted to show you guys this parking lot was, you know, just to kind of paint a picture, right? So Celeste and David weren't close to the parked car, right? Because there's nowhere for you to park your car down this hill, right? This is all just, I guess we'll go back down. Okay, fine. Let's just kind of go back down. There's really nowhere for you to park your car, right? Unless they were parked right here in this parking lot, or they were parked at the top where I showed you guys earlier. And so, I mean, no, there's nowhere for them to go here because this is a private residence. And then it's right around this area right here where she was standing to take that photo. So to kind of put things into perspective, they had to either have come all the way from down there and walk up here, or they were parked all the way at the top, right? Foxy said, imagine going up there, sparking a J, and David Fruitcake's ass is up there. Yeah, no, that would have been trippy, right? To see him. It was, yeah, I don't know. I went up there, right? And I went to go take a look because I wanted to see it for myself. And I will tell you that when I walked that whole entire thing, my ass was out of breath, right? I don't hike, but that was a steep walk, right? Just, I mean, everybody that I saw going up it, you know, it was a really steep walk, right? So yeah, I went up there earlier this morning and I went to go take a look at it and I went to go see, and it was pouring rain. I'm telling you, it was like really, really bad. I accidentally went on the dirt trail and it started taking me up onto the mountain. So I was like, this is not where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to go down. Key Peace. Welcome. How's it going? anyways, you guys want to see some photos? You guys want to see some of the stuff that I took when I was up there? Type of one in the chat if you guys want to see some photos. Your cat's following the mouse? Is it keeping up? I see some ones. I see some ones. I see some ones. This looks like a creepy spot. You know what? I was up there today, and mind you, it was pouring rain. It was really heavy when I was up there. And it's funny that that comment that I read earlier about going up there and sparking J, because when I went up there, um, I seen maybe about 4 or 5 cars, and every car that I looked into or that I glanced over at, somebody had a blunt in their hand and they were sparking it. So I'm curious if that was the spot that everybody just went to kind of smoke, get high. I mean, obviously there were a few people there um, that were hiking. I'm laughing because being babysat, I need to delete so much stuff on my phone. Screenshot after screenshot, everything's for the smallest reason. Seriously, it's the same thing. I have so much on my phone, especially like regarding this case. But okay, so here, let's kind of back it up. I'm gonna take us over to here. Let's kind of exit out. So I went up there today, and I'll show you pretty much how bad it was. Deladane definitely possible. I keep bringing up the parental way he treats her. I think due to her age, she didn't understand it and was another way to keep her in line. Lover and daddy. Darcy said, yeah, it's a smoking or hiking spot. Bean Baby said, Deladang, don't even start. How long did it take you to get there? I mean, from where I'm living at, it took me about 25 minutes to drive. This was in a heavy rain, right? So traffic was probably moving definitely below speed limit. So we were going about I don't know, maybe about like 45, 50 miles an hour. So definitely under speed limit, right? Traffic wasn't heavy, so it didn't take that long. So here's on Jefferson Boulevard. Here's that sign that was on the Google thing that we looked at earlier on Google Maps. You're just going to see me take photo after photo. So this is pulling into that driveway. Obviously, it says no pedestrians on the roadway. Then it says the Baldwin Hills Scene Overlook. Hold on one second, guys. So right here, you see the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook, and it says watch for traffic. Let's see where else. Did you walk in the rain? Sydney, unfortunately, I did, right? But yeah, I was really curious and I wanted to go see it. I was actually out in the area not too far, so I was like, might as well stop by. And you know, it's crazy because I visited patients out in this area many, many times, and I had no idea this was here. And I passed by that little street right off Jefferson many times before. Miss Dizzle, this is probably the reason why I'm feeling a little under the weather. Yeah, you're right. When I got back to my car, I was soaked. So this was driving up this street on Hetzler. And I tried to take some photos for my car. Nope. Okay, that's the photo of Celeste. Oh, well, that's the sweater that we think it is. And this is a Givenchy logo whole hoodie. So, who found this one? Was it Whitney? Was it Whitney who found this and sent the screenshot? Let's see. So, okay, so here, just for reference right here, right? The parking lot was right over here where I had to park. And you had to walk all the way down here to get to that photo where she took. So they either found somewhere else to park right here and walked up, or they could have just came up here to smoke and take a walk. Obviously it wasn't raining, so it wasn't bad, right? What else do they have? So this was the parking lot, and I needed to take a photo, just in case some of these cars started following me home. I need to know who was there. So you'll probably see me take a few of these little creeper shots right here. That side of the parking lot was pretty empty. On the other side, there were probably about like 3 or 4 cars. And these were some of the flowers that are literally on that trail, right? And you guys have seen these flowers before because, tell me, I want you guys to tell me, where do you guys remember these flowers from? We call them top of the world spots or the view. It's been showing up. It's been snowing up in Big Bear, but not in the city, Jazz. At least not in OC. Did it snow at the beginning of January in Cali, y'all? Not out here. Not out here. Flowers in January? What the heck? It's 13 degrees. Yeah, it's pretty cold out. I'm literally freezing my ass off right now. Where'd I go? Hold on. This is it right here. Yeah, some of the flowers that I saw on that little hike. This was a photo of the little tower that was there. It's a pretty huge tower. Foxy says, I have those flowers all up by me in the edge of the Angeles National Forest. Oh, what kind of flowers are those? I'm not a flower person. No, you're good. I'm good, Jazzy. We're good. I'm just joking. I mean, it's a little cold in here, but I'll be fine. I'll manage. So, little radio tower. It's a little sign of Park to Playa Trail. And these were some of the views that were out there. So just kind of go through a few photos of the area. Della Dank. That's right. They were definitely correct. No, these were definitely some of the flowers that we've seen on his Withered Deluxe album, right? But a beautiful view. I could imagine, why people would want to go out there if it wasn't raining, right? And they're not crazy like I was. So this was me walking my ass down there. I'm gonna tell you, I almost slipped so many times because I wasn't wearing the proper shoes. I was wearing my Yeezys and it was just really slippery out there. I don't know what this is. I thought it was like an orange. But what does it say? Stalker Corridor. Oh, that's a weird name. Stoneview Nature Center. I just thought this was really weird. Here. It says Pacific Ocean. I can't read that. Something Creek Bike Path. Then Culver City Stairs. Those are probably all the little things to do out in that area. Foxy said it's a film reel. Of course it is, my dumbass. Of course. Of course that's a film reel. Haha, in orange. Just kidding, you guys. Oh, Cat's here. I'm not the only one that thought it was an orange. Dilladang said, I've seen so many pictures of this case, my phone has been glitching. Well, I mean, as long as it's glitching and he's not listening, right? Soccer corridor, right? Isn't that weird? That just looked weird. Bologna. I think that's what it says, Bologna. Oops. Where'd it go? some of the more photos that we took. This kind of looks like some of the photos that we've seen him post, right? So if we go to Instagram right over here, and we go down, let's kind of just make this a little smaller. Now there, some of the flowers are the same flowers that you saw in those previous photos, but this photo right over here, Della Dank, your phone got hacked by him. Uh-oh. Now you can tell that this photo right over here was taken with the filter too, so it was probably taken with the same camera, right? It has that little greenish filter on it. And then you see that smoking deaths this year counter. If I'm not mistaken, this is not that far. So this could have been, who knows when this was posted, but this could have been on their way there. Or on Visco, or however you say that app. Think so? You guys can hear me now though, right? You guys, I'm good. Yeah, if you guys can still hear me, let me know. Type one in the chat. Yeah, Della Dank, I would not be surprised, right? If he has all well, I don't think he has them anymore, right? Because I'm sure that anything that he collected, he had to submit to law enforcement. So I don't think he has anything else in his possession. I think that he's turned everything in, and that obviously they're not going to confirm to him if any of this is new stuff. Catsier said, I think SF turned everything in probably after filling a hard drive with copies. Ooh, that's probably something he would have done, right? Otherwise, how would he still have these photos now? Thank you, guys. So again, we see these are some of the photos that he posted literally same day, right? So January 2nd, 2025. Now, depending, who knows if this was taken earlier in the day. It looks like it was earlier in the day, right? Because if that photo was taken at 5:05 p.m., it was probably getting darker. So this was probably on the way up there. Magdalena said, I'm sure he copied everything too. Jazzy said, look back at his wording. It might hint at an idea. Death from smoking. I don't know. They you know what? Knowing that spot up there is a place where people go to smoke, right? I wouldn't doubt that that's probably where they went to go smoke. Sydney, thank you for joining the inner circle. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you not? I don't know, Sydney. That's a great question. But anyways, welcome to the inner circle, you guys. Smoking deaths equals burn cage? Could be. I don't know. Then we have, let's take a look, right? So that was the first photo. And then you have this. So it's kind of weird, right? If you think about it. It's kind of like watching a movie, right? You see that now, hold on. I do have to bring this up, right? Because some people may or may not know about this, because this is probably the last proof of life that we are familiar with. However, I do want to say, and I do want to share something that I read last night on the Reddits, and it's this thing right over here. So now this is a post by Ginny the Ween, and if you guys have been following the Reddits closely, you know that she's been posting a lot of like bombshell posts on Reddit that have kind of caught a lot of people's attention, right? So this one reads, just a side note, Steve has many pictures. One from January 2nd was taken earlier in the morning in the Angeles National Forest at Millard Campground. This last picture that he posted today was taken in the afternoon at Baldwin Hills. So Foxy Amazon just upgraded her membership to redacted. Thank you. Wow. Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the inner circle, you guys. Drop some circles in the chat. If you guys are a member, drop some circles in the chat for me. So I'm curious. Deladank said, at this point, I believe this monster did this on purpose and wanted to get caught. He makes me sick, in my opinion. Jazzy said, wasn't Jimmy the Ween on David's team, or am I confused? So, hey, I see Kevin Akabillo in the chat. What's going on, cuzzo? What's going on? I got my fam in the chat. What's up? Hey, that's what's up. Anna, I see you. We're doing good. We're doing good. We are, it's Saturday. It's raining. We're just hanging out, you know. So I'm curious, right? So it says here that that there are many photos. How does Ginny know? That's a great question. Now I have my suspicions. Maybe this person, Ginny the Ween, may be working closely with SF Investigates. Who knows, right? But I mean, it sounds like a very confident post. Either that, or they're just making sense of everything, right? We did see SF Investigates state that he had thousands upon thousands of photos. So, you know, it's very possible that this was not the only photo taken on January 2nd, and some of them could possibly hold more images of Celeste, right? So, side note, Steve has many pictures. One from January 2nd was taken earlier in the morning, Angeles National Forest at Millard Campground. This last picture that he posted today was taken in the afternoon. And then this was an image right here. So, I don't know. What can you guys make anything of this? What do you guys make of this? You drove and walked all the way up there from Pasadena? Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's up, buddy? Maybe that is SF Incognito. Ooh. It's a good point. We'll never know. But what do you guys see in this image? Because I don't see anything. My thoughts are that this image is probably like blown up all the way. Right? Or it's maybe just a portion of a photo that was blown up. Maybe it's SF's girlfriend. Could be. Could be. 1 second, you guys. Let me just, my dog wants some water, so I gotta go get him some water really quick. I'll be right back, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm back. Sorry about that. Thank you, Jazzy. If you like this video, do me a favor, hit the like button. All it does is, you know, help us put this video, push it down the algorithm so other people can watch it, right? All of you guys take the time to watch my videos. Do me a favor and share it so other people can see it too. I mean, everybody's just, you know, everybody's reading our Reddit post anyways. they might as well watch the video too. But what do you guys think this is? These are I think this could be trees. I mean, I just hope that it's you know what? I just thought of it too. Ginny has the photo. Does Ginny have the photo of January 2nd, the one that was posted at, let me see. Right, let me just kind of go back up here. I do want to see something else too, or show you guys something else. Let's go back over to this profile right over here. None of their posts are available. I guess not. Let me go ahead and turn this off really quick. So this is a video that Rabbit posted, and for all of you guys that follow Rabbit here, shout out to Rabbit. So let's go ahead and watch this video. Let me turn this off real quick.
Okay. So I message Steve Fisher. And I said, hey, kind of explain this post and everything. And he basically says, you know, and again, he's not talking a lot. I'm speculating because there's more to this, okay? He says to me that the January 2nd photo with her was taken in the Angeles National Forest. It was not taken in the city.
Okay, so I guess that is in reference to the 4 photos that I showed you earlier, where you can see the double head photo of Celeste that's in downtown LA. I believe that's what he's referring to when he's talking about the city. So we do know that there are more photos of either both of them or just Celeste. Hold on one second. Yeah, so sorry about that. I was just reading a text. There are more images that were posted on January 2nd, or not posted, but that there are on January 2nd. And we're probably just gonna have to wait to see if either of them are gonna come out, right? So yeah, what do you, I mean, it's kind of weird, right? To go from the Angeles National Forest all the way out to Baldwin Hills. Now, let's see, I'm very curious. What, I need to go back and look. January 2nd, 2025 was a Thursday morning, or a Thursday. I mean, obviously she wasn't in school, right? Or if she was, she probably would have been on winter vacation. But a Thursday. So it wasn't really a weekend where, you know, people just randomly, you know, go hiking on a weekend. This was a Thursday. January 2nd was a Thursday. Hey, Miss Dizzle, thank you so much for your $4.99 super sticker. Appreciate you. And let me see. I mean, if we can get up to a few more viewers, maybe I'll give some subs. Maybe I will give some subs. All right, let me catch up on some of the chat. Is that smoke behind the trees? You guys want to go back to, let's see. You guys talking about this one right here. So here, see, a lot of people are like debating. Now, you guys can clearly see here that the camera has sharpened a little bit. This is the original photo, and this is what AI kind of did to the photo. Now, if you're one of those people that are on Reddit and debating the topic, all the purpose was for this photo was to take the green filter off, right? There's no way for me to control that um, AI doesn't enhance or manipulate the photo, in some ways. So I don't have any control of that. But what the whole purpose was behind this was to show that, to be honest with you, it's really just to show that this sweater right over here looked like the one that was in David's bedroom, right? And so this was that sweater that we were talking about. You guys can see that one right over here. This one right here. So this is supposed to be, I want to say it's the same color as the one that she's wearing in here. And then with this image right here that you see here, you can see that the colors are matching, right? So the whole reason why I removed the filter was really because when this photo first came out, it was really hard to determine, was this sweater black or was it brown? So it's really hard to kind of determine, right? It's a reach to go from Angeles National Forest all the way down Jefferson to Culver City hiking trails. Were they en route to somewhere else? And if so, where were they going? It definitely looks like Celeste, right? Even with the small little AI enhancements, this looks so much like, where is that photo at? Where'd it go? I can't find it now. I don't know where it's at. But anyways, proof of life. I'll just open this one up. Oh no, this is what I want to show you guys. This one right over here. I'm curious though, right? What kind of sweater is she wearing in this? And another question that I wanted to ask. Hey, shout out to Jeff for gifting a membership. So if you receive the membership from Jad, make sure you thank them. Thank you, Jad. Appreciate it. You can see her nose piercing too, Deladank said. Let's go back. Where is it at? Oh yeah, you can see something right over here. So it's crazy. She has, I don't know if this is her septum piercing right over here, but it does look like she does have a little nose ring on the left side, which is weird because you can't really see it here. Yeah, and if I zoom in, it's not going to work. Very, very peculiar. Let's go back and take a look at some of the other photos that we captured. I do want to show you guys one video that we took. So this was me accidentally hopping onto the trail when I should have stuck onto the road. This part right here was like really slippery. If you guys are ever out there on a rainy day, you guys are ever going up to that trail, make sure you guys are wearing proper shoes. Do not wear your Yeezys. Marissa said, yes, that is definitely Celeste, and it is definitely the same hoodie. The Dank said on the side of the nose. Chris Ball said it's her. Celeste had a nose piercing, remember? Yeah, I remember in some of the photos that we've seen, she did have her nose pierced. I wonder if they were cruising Cannon Doom. Great question. And could this explain why the car was very like sandy? Why there was so much dirt on it? Could be the Gap sweater and the other. Oh, that's true, right? Hey, Catalina, welcome. Just realized that was you. But you see it in other photos. Della Dank says she got her nose pierced. Remember when she was younger? Yeah, she did. All right, so here we are going down. Little photo of a little jackrabbit that we saw out there. They do got little wildlife out there. Just took a picture of our little bunnies. And clearly, I was telling you guys earlier that going up that little roadway, there is no place to park. So parking out there is going to be really difficult. Della Dank, actually, I don't think so. Because, well, I don't know. Maybe it could be because I remember SF. We're going to have to go back and watch that video. But I think SF Investigate said that all the videos that he's seen from surveillance footage, shows that the car was still caked on, right? It had all that dirt that was caked on it. Um, and I think that was earlier in February. He mentioned that something happened in February, and then from February to April, like you don't really see the car, right? And then there was that one time where he took the Tesla and then got it detailed. Um, so it's a little weird. I'm gonna play this, but let me make sure that turn the volume off. Don't need you guys hear me panting, breathing, and dying. But this was just a little walk that we took. Just walking down. So this was literally, I think, at the last entrance that they closed up before it gets to the parking lot. A little sign here that says Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. So this is a California State Park. That was I didn't know that until today. The other day said I think the dirt was from Santa Barbara. Ms. Dill said it's Bunny investigating. What's the trail name where the album pic was taken? That one? Oh, that's a good one. The one Malibu. I don't know if we determined what the name was yet. We might have to go back to Ginny's post to see if there's anything on there. How did it get so dirty so fast? Unless you drove it off road somewhere and it looks all jacked up too. And that's crazy, right? Because I'm curious. I think there were earlier photos of his Tesla back in like, I don't know, late 2024 that didn't have damage on it, and then out of nowhere you see the damage on the back, and then it's all caked up with dirt into the new year. So it's really odd. Some little park areas that they have so you can sit down, little bench right there so you can eat your food, you can have lunch, whatever, smoke a J, do whatever you want out there. Another little dirt roundabout. This was one of the views overlooking Culver City. And hang tight, guys. We're going to get down there. So, Hetzler Road pedestrian path. Does that say another project funded by Proposition 84 through the Baldwin Hills Conservancy? This was their governor. All right, so this is basically where the pedestrian pathway started, or where I hopped on. Peekaboo ICU said, I remember seeing a date when he had it detailed from SF. You're right. And he also, I think he posted a video on his TikTok too, where he was talking about like he went to go get the car detailed. So it's clean now, but I don't remember exactly what date we're talking about. But this is literally going down towards where that photo was taken. So let's see. You can see this was on Hetzler and Tompkins. And I mean, this area does have surveillance footage, right? And this, I don't know if this is like pro level surveillance, but it is an outdoor one. It looks like it may have been put up by private residences. So they definitely have footage out there. And if they do, I'm hoping that law enforcement has already made their way out there. Which part don't you like, Jazzy? It says, I'm sorry, but SF's latest post says 14-year-old female. Excuse me, I don't like that. You like the part? What part is it that you don't like? You think that they'd have cameras set up there by now since they want to be all nosy. Everything is so green, it's crazy because of the rain. Yeah, it's weird, right? Because in Celeste's image where she was, let me see, we'll just pull that one up really quick. You can see here, right, that there is absolutely like no greens here. But wait till we get to that image that I took. Right over here, right? So you see here, right here. It's like brown. No leaves, no grass, nothing. And then here, it's all full of weeds. So this was the image that I took of where she was standing. Now maybe she was probably maybe a few bars down, but it was really weird when I got there and I took this picture. The first thing that I thought to myself was, "Holy crap! This is where Celeste was the last time that we heard anything of her." Um, it was just like a surreal moment, just to kind of like be there. Um, Pretty eerie. And then the whole weather, it being raining. At this point, right here, this image is clear. You don't see any rain, but the moment that I turned around and like shot a video, you can see how much rain there was. But yeah, look at that. I mean, not too far. And to be honest with you, in real life compared to the image, this part right here was way closer. I want to say it was just the focal length of what my camera was set at. Um, really weird. But in real life, oops, in real life, this is this is how close it looked. So let's go back here, right? The next image that you guys just saw is basically what she would have been looking at. So as you can tell here, this whole place is full of trees, right? So let's see. So this kind of looks a little bit closer to where she was. Maybe a little bit more closer. Ms. Dill said, "Do you think investigators went to Santa Barbara to take a look around at the place where he supposedly was?" I'm sure they have already. Um, they definitely have. The day that TMZ came out and mentioned Santa Barbara, we know that LAPD came out and did clarify that they are looking into that. So I think by the time that they announced it, they had already gone out there and did what they needed to do. Oh, the whole female part. She's a child. Yeah, no, definitely, right? She definitely was a child. I thought Jazzy, you meant that they said something offensive. But yeah, no, definitely. I mean, she was female, right? But yeah, she was a child. Definitely was a child. Tammy said, but he had multiple Teslas and nobody knows which one it was. You know what? You are right. I do know that he did own multiple Teslas, maybe not simultaneously. I know that they got the red Tesla on February 1st, which was a lease, and that was under Josh Marshall. And there was also a blue Tesla that was there, right? And that I am very curious if that Tesla belonged to one of the friends. I can't find the interview, but I do remember SF Investigates saying that um, there was also another Tesla there that belonged to a friend, and that car would also be parked there for an extended period of time, right? So I wanted to see it. Let's kind of go there. Now, this is the Vareo or the house on Vareo. It's actually on Doheny, but for some reason, they also have it listed as Vareo. So here you can see the black Tesla that's parked on Doheny. But if you continue and you keep going, right, you guys see that there's another Tesla here. And this is a Model X. This is the same exact model as, where's it at? Hold on. Let's go back. It's the same model as this one. Maybe the years are a little bit off. Peekaboo said the tags had expired on the black Tesla. What month? They expired on January 2025. Yeah, Cassier. January 2025. So literally that same time that he was driving around with Celeste on January 2nd, that car's registration was already expired. Jazzy said, I'm not accusing accusing him of anything. I just don't like that the wording. I just thought it was weird. No biggie. Yeah. The wording was weird, right? For them to use female just kind of made it sound like she was a little bit older. How many cars did he have? To my knowledge, I thought he only had one, right? But I know that there's been videos of him hopping out of other cars. There was that red Tesla that was taken out of the garage. I think the day that the warrant was served and the day they terminated their lease. And then SF Investigates said that there was a blue Tesla that belonged to a friend that was parked there for an extended period of time. Nobody knows who that Tesla belongs to, but if we're gonna be betting, I'd probably put my money on Neo. I know, Foxy. Too bad the plates are covered. Wink, wink, Foxy. Maybe you can, do what you do. But yeah, so again, let's just kind of take a little walk up here, right? This is up for Rayo. Now, I do remember SF Investigates saying that in one of his videos that if you go all the way around this street right here, it'll lead you back to this place right here. I don't know if that's true, but if you go down here, left on North Doheny, and you make a right, this is Bluebird Avenue. So this is the area where the black Tesla was cited, or it was, ticketed, and eventually this is where they towed it from. I don't have it, Foxy, or I'll give it to you later. I don't want to show it here. Let's get back. Let's get back to these photos. So this is the area where her photo was taken. You can see here too, there's another one of those cameras. Looks like another pan, tilt, zoom kind of camera. Right in front of this little garage gate. Oops. Where to go? Are we up here? Where are we? All right. So this kind of looks a little bit closer, right? Maybe too close. That was the last proof of life that we have of Celeste. Let me see, maybe this lines up a little bit better. No, still not perfect, but that's what it is. So right here, I guess it's just another private entrance to that property. So this was literally on my way back up. More rabbits, little bunnies, right? This was the water. I think they have like a little water tank that was up there. And your theory surrounding getting rid of the body. Okay, so Jazzy's asking Flojo, can you share your timeline for January when you think she was unalived and such, and your theory surrounding getting rid of the body? I mean, my theory or my belief, right? Because I won't necessarily say it's my theory, right? But just based on all the stuff that has been presented, I think that she lost her life on or around January 2nd. I really think that, it was really close to this date. And I strongly believe that because there's really nothing afterwards. Now, I get it. Steve Fisher does mention that, law enforcement has more resources that can better determine when she was unalived. But I just find it really hard to believe that, she was alive past that date with nothing, no proof, Peekaboo said January 4th, David and his numbers. Knowing him, I mean, it's definitely possible, right? Definitely possible. And let Let me see. Kazier said, "Yeah, I guess I don't think of female the same as woman. Female can also be used literal infant. True. Yeah, nursing. I mean, we use that female male interchangeable, not interchangeably, but very often. So sometimes I overlook it. His plates probably say Diva loves Neo. Surrounding getting rid of the body. That one is hard because I had no idea. I mean, I was really baffled and shocked when they brought up Santa Barbara. The time frame, I do have a timeline that we can probably take a look at, but it's really hard to determine when because April, I believe, was a really busy time of the year for them. A lot of people still think that. Sorry, I had to. Hold on, let me just get a drink real quick. A lot of people think that Celeste may have been unalived in the springtime. So it's really difficult to determine when she could have, been unalived. I feel like it was sometime early January as well. I think she was frozen until Santa Barbara trip. What bothers me, right, is if you kill somebody, wouldn't you want to get rid of the body? So then that way you don't get caught? If she was really unalived in early January and they did something with her body in the springtime, later on that year, it's just kind of weird. Like, what are you doing with the body? What is the whole reason that you felt the need to just keep the body stored? How many clowns drive Diva's car? No idea. But you know what? I mean, with the app, I wouldn't put it past all of his friends being able to drive the car. But I've seen possibly 3, not really sure. Maybe she was kept at the Vareo house. Yeah, it's weird because I still think that there's another location that we absolutely know nothing about. SF Investigates talks about this third house or this other location that Celeste may have spent a lot of time in, and this was supposed to be at somewhere in downtown LA, right? We do know that these photos, right over here, right, were taken in downtown LA. Or at least these two photos were, right? Um, I don't know if there's condos that are close by, but I know right behind them was this like I don't know, like a California hotel or something like that. But that hotel isn't open anymore, and I don't think it's been open for a couple of years now. So them going there a year ago. Sorry about that, you guys. I'm yawning. But for them to go there a year ago, I don't think that they were staying at the hotel that was there. Let's see. Katsier said, "Yeah, but these industry sickos, they aren't just out here doing normal stuff. And now they're not, right?" MacDoodle said, What if it was a car accident and that they hit her and froze her?" Yeah, anything's possible, right, Mac? And the part that makes it so difficult for us to wrap our heads around is that the LAPD has told us nothing. And we all want to know, but also at the same time, I understand why they're not telling us anything. I don't think that the LAPD is really in a position to mess this one up, per se, right? This case has probably gotten just as much attention as the OJ Simpson trial. I don't know. Maybe the numbers are a little bit off, but I feel like everybody is still talking about this case just as much as they were talking about the OJ case. And who knows? Maybe a couple years later, down the line, they'll have a Netflix series about this. Jazzy says, see, this is what I'm saying. He may be cocky, but he also has been careful somewhat up until now, so why leave her in a car so long? I originally thought they backed over her because of that dent in the rear, right? Um, let's see. Where is it? Let's go back. I'm curious, did that Tesla that we saw earlier have a dent in it? Nope, there's no dent in it. But so this was taken. That's odd. This was taken in May 2024. Okay, that makes sense. May 2024. The car was still fairly new, but it's really weird. The car is barely about a year old. Look how messed up it is. Look how dirty it is. Then we have the blue Tesla here. Let's go back. Let's go back. More water tanks. Park hours. So 8 a.m. to sunset. This is literally going back up towards the parking lot. Yeah. Cat's here. Yeah, definitely could be pollen, right? Because of the color of it. Hey, Chris, if you don't want your Tesla, just drop it off over here. This is the parking lot here, and obviously you can see that there's only a few cars that are here. This is where they have, oh, right here is where they have the charging stations right here. This is going back down. Okay, so this was a screenshot of what Ginny had mentioned in the comments. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Let me find the video. There's a video that I want to show you guys. Let me show it to you. Let me just get it really quick. Okay, one second. I'm gonna show you guys this right here. Oh no, wrong video. This one isn't it. Sorry, you guys. I'm just looking for this video. So I'm all right. Let me move this here really quick. Where is it? This it? No. Let me see. Sorry, you guys. Sorry. Should we give away some memberships? What are you guys thinking about? Should we give some memberships away? A little bit of music in the background. Peekaboo, I think it really just depends on where the Tesla is being charged at, right? If it's at like one of those superchargers, could take anywhere between like 20-30 minutes. But I don't have one. I definitely don't have one. So Chris Paul in the chat says 15 to 20 minutes. Definitely not a couple hours. It depends on like how strong that charger is, right? Wow, I'm really trying to figure out how to. Hold on, maybe I gotta get this one right here. There you go. Okay. Standing No, it's not playing. What? Hold on. Okay, I guess we'll just play it from here. Sorry, y'all. This thing is messing up. All right, let me turn this down really quick. Military Ma, welcome. Thank you for joining us. You're late to the train. It's okay. The train has not left yet, so you're good. Welcome, 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 welcome. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play a quick video. So this is basically just to kind of describe the area that we're looking at, where Celeste was standing when that photo was taken. Who's leaving? Somebody's leaving us? Jazzy, you're out. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good night. Good rest of your night and have a good rest of your weekend. Let's go ahead and play this video right here. So I'm standing here right about where we believe the photo may have been taken. Now, if you guys can see those two orange little stone entranceways for their gate, it's actually a lot closer than it appears in the video. But this appears to be right where she was at, standing when she took the photo. And if you guys turn this way, right, and you guys wonder what she was looking at, there was absolutely no scenic route for her to view. So she was standing here, or even if she was standing, let's go down a little bit more, and just say she was standing here, right? There really is nothing to look at. There's a little bit of a, view right there. But other than that, there's really not much to see out there. So I'm curious why she was standing there. Let's run that back really quick. So I'm standing here right about where we believe the photo may have been taken. Now, if you guys can see those two orange little stone entranceways for their gate, it's actually a lot closer than it appears in the video. But this appears to be right where she was at, standing when she took the photo. And if you guys turn this way, right, and you guys wonder what she was looking at, there was absolutely no scenic route for her to view. So she was standing here, or even if she was standing, let's go down a little bit more, and just say she was standing here, right? There really is nothing to look at. There's a little bit of a, view right there. But other than that, there's really not much to see out there. So I'm curious why she was standing there. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Where was it? Let me exit out of this really quick. What is that building flow? This building right over here to the left, this is a private residence. And on the front, when you're walking up, it does say that it says Casa Maxwell. Let's see, I think I might have a... Let's see, right over here. So right here, you can see Casa Maxwell. I believe it's a private residence. I don't really know who it belongs to. I haven't looked into it. But the internet can do what the internet does. Yeah, Maxwell, right? Really, really, I get maybe the timing of all this, right? Knowing what the Reddit post that have been put out like the past 2 weeks. I'm curious though, because a lot of people said that it looks like Celeste may have been on her phone. Do you guys think that she could have been on her phone? So let's actually go back to the original photo. Blow this one up just a little bit. It won't get any bigger. So, I mean, right here you can see it looks like her finger is, it looks like you can see her finger here. Let me see if we just kind of zoom out, right? So here's the image that I kind of enhanced and made normal. You know what other people also pointed out too is that if you look through the holes, it looks like the color of skin. And you can see here that it's skin and maybe potentially her wearing her black tube top, right? Is there people in the background here too? So if you guys take a look here, there are two people walking. So whoever these two people are could have definitely seen her, right? But here you can see that here, right? She has her finger. It looks like her finger, right? Because it's the same color as this, as her skin here. So obviously, this gesture would probably indicate. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure you guys can see this. It would probably indicate that maybe she's holding up her phone, right? So hold on, let me just kind of grab my phone. So if I'm like talking on my phone, if I'm talking on my phone like this, right? I'd probably be holding it up like this. So is it possible that she could have been on a phone call? And if she was on a phone call, who do you think she was calling? Now, we don't, since the beginning of this case, we know absolutely nothing about a phone that she owned. We've seen her in photos with a phone, right? And Deladank was pointing out the photo of her. Let me see if I can pull it up because Deladank was pointing out the photo of her on that school bus. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull it up somewhere. Let me save this. All right, let's see if we can find it. Oh no, it's not. It's this one right over here. All right, give me a second as it pops up. Dun, 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 dun. Here you go. So I know Deladank. Where were you at, Deladank? Chris Paul, thanks for hanging out. Have a good night and happy New Year to you too, brother. I feel like you've got to have a phone to have all these social accounts. Yeah, you know, there's been speculation that maybe she didn't own any of them. We all know that there's ways to get around having a social media account, right? But I mean, somebody her age, you know, shouldn't be able to have an account because she's just, I think it's against the terms of conditions. I don't think she was of age to have one. Yeah, so here, let's take a look at this photo. Let me see if we can blow this one up just a little bit. So here you can see that she has nails. Look how long her nails are. Look at this. And who knows how old she was in this photo. Cindy, thank you for hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good night. I can see her being on her phone. Then maybe she stopped to answer a call and not to look at something. No, the sweater was way too long and covering her hands, but she is holding a phone for sure. Okay, Jad seems to be confident that she's holding a phone. And then, yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell if this is maybe like the same phone that she had, right? But who knows? Maybe it is. Who knows if she had nails? I know. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up. See if I can actually just pull up the actual photo of this. Where is it at? As you can see in the photo, it looks like she has nails too. Maybe I don't. Oh, here it is. Hold on, let me turn off the comments so you guys can see. I don't know. Nah, maybe she doesn't have nails. Oh, I don't know. What's that right there? Yeah, they're not as long though. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it looks like she's on her phone. She has a sweatshirt folded too. So here, this is what I was talking about. You guys, look, if you guys are taking a look at these holes right over here too, you can see skin colored, looks like skin color. So maybe she was potentially wearing that tube top that she was found in, which could be an indication, right? Or a slight hint that maybe this was the night. Looks kind of pointy. Let's go ahead and give away some memberships right now. Let's send 5 of them. Should we send 5 of them out? Let's go ahead and send 5. Who's gonna get them? Just gifted 5 memberships. Oh, Whitney got one. Let's go, Whitney. Georgia got one. What's that say? Jackie app? Is that what it says? Flying Wordy was gifted one. And then Tanya Lennox was gifted a membership. Welcome, you guys, to the inner circle. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So that'll be our first of 10 memberships that we'll give away this month. Maybe during the next one, we'll give out a few more. But yeah, what do you guys think? I'm curious what your thoughts are. Does this help paint a better picture as to the timeline because of what she's wearing? No idea. Cassier says, oh my God, YouTube hates me, even when the probability is so much higher. YouTube might hate you, Cassier, but we don't hate you. And everybody who was gifted a membership, welcome to the inner circle. But let me see. I want to watch this video again. I know we've done it probably the past 2 lives, right? Did David accidentally admit Celeste's murder date? I don't think so. Law and Crime SF. I want to go back to this one because I feel like this... this interview told us a lot. And this was the very first, I believe this was the very first interview that SF Investigates did for the entire case.
Former landlord, really appreciate you taking the time here to talk about this. First off, Steve, how were you hired? How were you retained in this matter?
So originally, when the case, when the body was originally found, I had another missing persons case going in LA of a female, and we thought that that could be that individual. And so I kind of stayed with the case for a little while until she was identified, and we knew it wasn't. And I had, discovered some other things, such as when the car was towed and the photos from it being towed and whatnot. And, the owner had gotten in touch with me of the house, and I shared some things with him, and it just kind of evolved from there. But one thing, I would say is he is the owner of the house. He wasn't David's landlord. David wasn't even on the lease, and the owner never even knew that David was in the house. It was actually Josh Marshall, his manager, who had leased the house.
But to be clear, David was living there, right?
Yes, he was definitely staying there. It just was not known to the owner.
Right. Okay. And by the way, I understand this is, an active investigation. There might be limited what you can share. But what exactly is he looking for in this? What exactly is this property owner? What kind of answers is he looking for?
So where really kind of evolved from was the search warrant was served, I believe, on the 17th or 18th. And it was a forced entry search warrant, meaning that nobody was home at the time. And they did not leave a copy of the warrant or of the return, the inventory list of the items that they took from the house. And it was really kind of born out of that. I was not officially retained at that time, but I helped him try to obtain that. And we told Robbery Homicide, hey, listen, no warrant was left behind. David was out on tour. Josh Marshall lives out of state, we found out. So the owner had his representative go to the house immediately after he found out about this, and there was no warrant, no return. So he really just wants to understand what of his property could have been taken and what the status of that is. And then also, this is troublesome when you.
These are the same days that they had the movers come and move everything out. These were some of the items that I think even days later were still left on the front porch. Weird because there's a pink sweater there, and I'm curious if it may have been that Hello Kitty one.
Learn something like this, all of a sudden you're thrown into this, and he feels absolutely horrible for Celeste's family. And he's like, if there's anything that involves, in and around my house that could help, then I want to discover that. And I'll tell you that there have been things that we've learned and we've turned right over to LAPD, but we think there's significant, things that could help.
Do you mean that there might be evidence that a crime was committed at that house?
Not so much a crime, no. And I'll just be honest with you. We don't have any evidence that anything.
That's a great question, Ms. Dizzle. Where did they take it?
There is definitely evidence that we've collected that helps the timeline. We now have a much better understanding of when that Tesla arrived at that final parking spot. I'll tell you, I do have surveillance from different houses in the neighborhood showing Tesla being moved. So things like that, and I'm not even saying that LAPD didn't have that. I'm sure they did, but we wanted to make sure. And, and we did some work and on the up-resing the footage to find out who was driving the vehicle. And there are some other items that were found at the house that weren't taken during the search warrant. And, search warrants are limited, right? They can't just go take everything.
So again, clarifying the limitations of that warrant, right? It's important to know.
Seen it, and that's what we like to see. But there were some things that were not taken into custody of LAPD.
I'm curious if any of these boxes have anything to do with more of the items that were found inside the house. Looks like as soon as you enter through the garage, it takes you to a set of stairs that leads you up into the house. So I'm curious.
That we think are significant, and including digital media and some other things that really help nail down timeline and things like that.
And you handed that over to LAPD. There's other.
We have the day that we the things that we've recovered, we've given to LAPD within 24 hours.
Do you know who was driving that car, that Tesla? You don't have to tell me, but do you know the identity?
Yeah, as far as going to the final, what we believe is the final parking spot where it was towed from, yes.
And that information's been communicated to law enforcement.
So it's been given to law enforcement. They're not going to tell us if they're confirming if that's a person or not. Robbery, homicide, the way they work is we'll take your information. We're not going to speak on it, so I don't know. But listen, it's very clear that that neighborhood is filled with surveillance cameras, and the timelines, once we learn those dates and we can see other things that were happening that were even public on Instagram and whatnot, or going on in those people's lives, it makes a lot of sense.
So let me ask you this.
If I'm not mistaken, Ms. Dizzle, I do believe that LAPD does have photos of the burn cage, the chainsaw, and anything else that was potentially there the moment that SF Investigates, did his investigation. I also believe that LAPD, if I'm not mistaken, also took photos of the burn cage and the chainsaw, but did not take them during, when they served that warrant. Because they felt that there was no need to, I believe that they took photos of it though.
If you see when the car was parked there, have you seen anything to indicate that Celeste's body was transferred into that car after the car was parked there? Or in other words, do you believe that her body was in that car the minute it was parked in the location it was ultimately towed from?
So I'll say I have no evidence of a body being transferred before or after. There's no evidence of that at all. What I will say, when it was moved to that position, it was already like that. So that car had not been used in a very long time.
So here, I want you guys to listen to what he just said, okay? Because this kind of answers that question that we asked when we were taking a look at the Bluebird Avenue.
When it was moved to that position. So I'll say I have no evidence of a body being transferred before or after. There's no evidence of that at all. What I will say, when it was moved to that position, it was already like that. So that car had not been used in a very long time. It was super dirty, caked on dirt. I'll tell you, this was in late July. So it's bizarre because we also got media that the car was used a lot. David even spoke about it in Instagram videos. He took it to a detail shop and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, the very beginning of the year, that car, something happens.
So the beginning of the year, something happens.
And the car's doesn't show up anymore. It's not used. It seems to disappear. And then that red Tesla learned, which we didn't know until the search warrant was served, that there's a red Tesla in the garage, which I can tell you was at least on February 1st.
And that red Tesla that was removed from the house the day that the search warrant was served was leased on February 1st.
Yeah, let me just narrow down here. Do you have the precise date of when that car, the one with the Tesla, with Celeste body inside, when it was left there? Do you know the specific date of when it was left in Hollywood Hills?
I believe so. I believe it. July, late July, very late July.
So one thing that we've heard, and this is something we've talked about, is the LAPD has seized footage from the rental property, multiple security cameras around the property. There are even reports of a smashed Ring camera on the ground.
Yeah.
And according to TMZ, police seized all the footage from multiple security cameras at the house last month when they executed the search warrant. TMZ described that footage as a, quote, potential gold mine for investigators. And the question becomes, did you see anyone coming into or leaving that property after the Tesla was there? So after the Tesla with Celeste body inside is there, can you tell us you saw people coming in and out of that property before the search warrant?
No, not from the time that the Tesla was left. So from the time the Tesla was left there, he literally immediately started the tour. There was a tour bus that was leased, and I'll tell you that Tesla was moved and literally a bus departed for tour.
Okay. You talked about things that might have been taken from the house, things that you handed over to LAPD. Is there anything you can share with us about what that information may be?
One thing that you just brought up, and I guess which TMZ reported on, the security system. The house has got a very sophisticated security system, not just with cameras, but with sensors and all types of things. It all records to a DVR. And for privacy reasons, the owner, when he leased the house, said, this is the system that's in the house, and you can use whatever functions you want on it. That's not something that then the owner could access. So we don't know if the cameras were enabled or not enabled, but if they were, it wouldn't just be cameras. It would be, we'd know anytime anybody came and went from the house, anytime anybody opened a window, everything, if they kept it like it was. But we don't know. LAPD came in and took that whole DVR. They took the entire system, which you would expect. And I've talked to the security company that installed the system, and they've told me, how it was set up. We think it was probably running because there's limited alerts that the security guy can see, which is stuff like if there's a major failure. And there was a low power failure warning that triggered right when they were executing the search warrant. And I think that's when they unplugged the system. So there's reason to believe that the system was running. Whether the cameras were covered or not, I don't know. I can tell you that some of the smoke sensors in the house were covered, and that's probably because maybe I don't know what they were doing in the house. So the cameras might have been covered as well.
During the course of your investigation so far, have you learned more information about Celeste and David, perhaps their connection, anything we should be thinking about that hasn't been publicly reported? Is your investigation also into them as well?
Sure. Yeah. And one of the reasons that we've kind of come public with what I'm doing is because, I have a little bit different method of working than a lot of private investigators and then what people think is the proper way of doing it. I believe in this digital age, and when, especially the younger generation, when they're on places like Discord and you don't even know their real identities, I put myself out there, and those people do come to me, and a tremendous amount of people have come to me, and I've learned a lot. Now, listen, a lot of it's circumstantial, right? But there are people that are directly in his orbit, and there are people that have photos and videos, and we've gotten a lot of photos and videos from inside the home itself. So we can put people at certain dates and times at the house, and there's a lot of them. It's in the thousands.
Do you know if Celeste was ever at that property?
So, what we recovered, we don't have any of her at that property. We have pictures of her and that were taken by David, we assume, because it's not on a camera phone, but these photos are on a regular camera at different locations. And it really makes me think that it's likely she had another place she was staying. I can tell you that there was a lot of time spent towards downtown LA. And I'll say the last photo that we have of Celeste is January 2nd, 2025.
Okay, now that's significant because we were.
So this was what I was telling you guys earlier, that he alludes to another property that Celeste may have been spending a lot of time in. Um, and it's funny because throughout this whole investigation, we haven't heard LAPD or SF Investigates ever discuss the house at 804, which was a streaming house, which is exactly where that stream took place, the whole Graping Kids live stream. But he does mention that there may be potentially another place in downtown that Celeste may have been spending a lot of time. So I don't know. Nobody that I've spoken to has been able to identify where that potential third location may have been. Doesn't look like it pops up in any of the footage. So I'm curious, did David have a third location that he just never put on camera? Very odd.
Wondering when she was last seen alive. There was that surveillance footage of her seemingly running away from her neighborhood,
and that was September of 24, I believe. So we didn't have anything. We were like, where was this girl in 2025? But we do have a photo of her on July 2nd, early in the morning, July 2nd, 2025.
Has anyone, and just to be clear, you don't know more information about when she died, right?
No, okay. I don't have any information of how she died or when exactly she died. Listen, investigations are always moving, and right now I tend to believe it happened a while ago, a long time ago. And I think January, February, things changed. I mean, you can see it in the photos and everything. And I also think when I first started looking at this case, I'm very much an Occam's razor type of person where I think things are a lot easier than people try to make them sometimes, especially online, into these big things. And I thought this was going to be a tragic overdose, which it very well still could be. And they made a bad decision because they didn't want to expose a potential relationship and put her in this Tesla. And then maybe he thought he could get somebody to get rid of that car. And they were just like, no, I'm not doing it, and just got left there. But I will say this, there are some things that, and I'm talking physical evidence that was at that house that is, there could have been greater plans as far as getting rid of her. And it's scary, sadistic stuff. And that's why we're trying to learn more about that. I wish I could say more, but for obvious reasons I can't. But it doesn't have to do with how she died, but maybe how they were planning on ultimately getting rid of her, and how maybe that Tesla was just a holding spot at the time, and things just, their timing was just off as far as getting this done. But there's a few things that were just like, will blow your mind.
Has anyone from David's team, management, legal, anybody reached out to you or your client?
I know that my client's been in touch with his manager, but only for the purpose of the lease, because they did ask to terminate the lease. And I believe the other manager that technically was the owner of the red Tesla, I think was in touch with him just because they needed access to the house to get that vehicle and stuff out. Because that's another thing that they could be key in this, is that there's only one key to that house, and who had that and who had access to it and who was in it. Because we also have evidence that while David was on tour at the time between the Tesla being found and the search warrant being served, David was on tour, but somebody was in that house. And there was actually a report made, not with police, but that homeowner association has a robust private security company, and we've gotten videos from them and reports. And so who had that key is probably the same person that had access to the Tesla.
This is the part that I keep circling back around to every time I watch this video, is what he just said right over here.
Gotten videos from them and reports. And so who had that key is probably the same person that had access to the Tesla.
Do you see the way he kind of like lifts his eyebrows? It's kind of like trying to joke, but like being serious at the same time.
who had that key is probably the same person that, had access to the Tesla.
Do you know who that person is, and do you believe that is the person that moved the Tesla?
And so I want you guys to listen to how he explains it too, right? And I think it was in the Nancy Grace video where he kind of goes into a lot of details about the person moving the car. Doesn't necessarily do it so much here, but in the Nancy Grace video, he does.
So I believe I definitely know who moved that Tesla on that late July before they went on tour. I can't say who the person, and I don't mean I can't say but I don't know who exactly was in that house because it's just a report. But
oh wait, hold on. I feel like he was trying to catch himself from slipping, and then just immediately change topics. Did you guys catch that?
Sure. I can't say who the person. And
Heather, welcome. Hey Heather, how's it going? Tell Chloe if Chloe's in here. Thank you, Chloe. Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you for hanging out. You can't wait to watch more. Thank you so much. So Heather said hello. Just wanted to say hello. Chloe sent me. Shout out to Chloe. Thank you for that. I didn't even know you had a channel. Yeah, I know. I don't really tell people. I just let my channel grow as it does. I can't wait to watch more. I've heard it's great. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Heather. Tell Chloe I said hello. She definitely is. For sure, they all look like they're on drugs. Yeah, there have been a few. Actually, I'm looking for one. I really want to show this to you guys because I have two photos that were kind of had me questioning, like, what are we doing here? But I would have to dig deep and find them because when I saw them, I have found them. Hold on, let me send them to myself. One second, you guys. Got to transfer them from the iPhone to the PC. So, all right, you guys. 1 second. We're almost there. Hey, shout out to Jav for gifting another membership. Hey, Chant. I remember Chant. Chant was in Rabbits chat New Year's Eve. Shout out to all the Rabbits fans who were hyping me up. Like, no tomorrow. Y'all were crazy. Y'all gave me a new name. Chant. There you are. I only realized he had a channel the other night in Rabbit Stream. See? That's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Chant. Welcome to the Inner Circle. You guys drop some circles in the chat for our newest Inner Circle member. All right, I want to show this to you guys, right? Because you guys are alluding to maybe David potentially doing drugs, drinking alcohol. He's not even of age. So let's see. Let's kind of go back. I want to you guys look at all the stuff I have. Look at this photo here. Here we have a 20-year-old drinking alcohol. Misty sharing blessings. Flojo, I see you everywhere else. Just now finding your channel. Didn't know you had your own. Yeah, you know, I like singing, right? But welcome. Mac Dizzle, you're funny. You crack me up. Was it you that started that in Rabbit Stream? You got everybody going. But what do we have here? Are we out at a party? We can see David. I don't know who this is. Then we have our good friend Neo. I believe this is Neo. Right? You guys want to see something crazy too? Look at this. Here we have David partying again, right? This is what I also discovered. If you scroll down, not like it means anything. What do we have here? So we have David drinking alcohol out at a public venue. And what does he have here in his pockets? Oh. Now, I know the laws in California recently changed, so it's not like you can buy cigarettes at your age, but he's got a pack of cigarettes here in his pocket. So our boy David is a smoker. Ah, look at that. Ah, you know it. Ah, what a guy, huh? But it's funny, I'm wondering if the venue selling alcohol to minors, could that be possible? Misty said, with money you can have whatever. Anna Banana says, if he smokes, he pokes. Magdizzle said he's super lame. All right, let's wrap this one up and then we'll go and take a look at Trapmore Ross's video.
I don't know who exactly was in that house because it's just a report, but there's video, but you can't make a person out. But somebody was in the house, and
somebody was in that house.
Key, it's like, okay, who had access at that time? So is it the same person that moved the Tesla? Was another last part of the plan about to go in motion as far as getting rid of her body? I don't know.
Now, we heard this week from LA County District Attorney Nathan Hochman, and he actually addressed this case directly when a TMZ reporter caught up with him outside the DA's office. And regarding the status of the case, he said, quote, "It is currently under investigation. We don't discuss suspects or the points in a continuing investigation. When and if that case is presented to the DA's office and we make a decision on it, I'll make sure you're one of the first to know. A case has not been presented to our office for filing consideration." And just to underline that, a spokesperson for the DA's office confirmed to Complex that, yeah, no case has been presented for filing consideration. The LAPD also told the outlet that the county medical examiner still hasn't determined a cause or manner of death, saying, quote, "It remains unclear whether there is any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body." Now, Steve, you just told us a lot of information here. Are you surprised that we don't have a confirmed suspect from law enforcement or a person of interest or even an arrest at this point? Or can you say from what you're seeing, that makes sense, but Jesse, maybe be on the lookout for something soon?
Yeah, I would say, Jesse, that makes sense, but maybe be on the lookout for something soon. Yeah, I've seen this in a lot of cases. It tells me, listen, I don't have any inside information on this. I'm just saying, from my opinion, that this means that during the examination, the autopsy examination, there was nothing very obvious, such as a crushed skull, any bullet holes, anything like that. So they're waiting on toxicology to come back to make that final determination. Now, is the medical examiner in contact with the detectives in between this time? Are they? Absolutely. Do they have a preliminary determination? I'm sure they do. I think the DA's office is working side by side with the detectives and telling them, this is what we need for these charges. This is what we would need for these charges. Can you get it or not get it? Listen, a crime 100% happened here. At minimum, it's the concealment of a body, right? So we know somebody did that. Hopefully it's not, a mutilation. Hopefully those initial reports were wrong about her being dismembered. But one thing I have to say, even though I talked about how we found some things that could have meant they had a really twisted plan.
That's right, Darcy, he could.
It never went in motion. So you can't charge somebody for a crime that they may have thought about doing. So, we may never know more about that.
And that's probably why the LAPD didn't pick up the burn cage or the chainsaw, right? Because to them, it didn't look like none of the equipment had been used and possibly still in its original packaging.
So, Steve, before I let you go, do you have any indication about where David is right now?
I don't. I have no idea. And it's kind of bizarre because his group has stayed so silent, what's left of his group, I guess. And I'm not even sure the conversations that the owner did have with his management in breaking that lease. I'm not even 100% sure his management knows at this time where he's at. I think his attorney might be the only one, and his parents.
Steve Fisher, really appreciate you taking the time.
All right, that was Steve Fisher and Jesse Weber's original video. This came out, about 3 months ago? And again, in some of the lives that I'm going to be doing coming up, I want to be revisiting some of these videos because a lot of them hold a lot of information that we can probably walk back and rethink and kind of piece things together. And this video just kind of helped, put that timeline together and have it make a little bit more sense. So, oh, what? Hold on. What? Birthday suit? No, y'all tripping. Yeah, Nope, I don't have enough subscribers for that. And YouTube is definitely not the platform for that. No. Hey, but do me a favor, though. If you guys are liking the content, you guys are liking the video, do me a favor, hit the like button. You guys, it's free. It costs you absolutely nothing. And all it does is help me get my videos out there so other people that aren't here yet can join and watch the lives or watch some of the content that we put out, right? I was also taking a look at some of my analytics, and it said that 76% of the people who watch the videos are not subscribers. So if you're lurking in the chats, you're just hanging out, you're not saying anything. There's about 43 people watching, which is a lot for me, right? 43 people watching and only a handful of people, in the chats being active. Drop a like, hit subscribe. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. I'm not asking you to become a member. If you really like my content, you'll make that decision yourself. Okay. Thanks, Darcy. Max tripping? Yeah. I don't know about no birthday suit. I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and take a look because Trapmore Ross put out a video. He said, this is bad. And you know what? I am going to react to Trapmore Ross's videos because he reads a lot of my Reddit posts, right? And never shouts them out, but we're going to watch his stuff. All right, guys. You guys good to watch this 23-minute video? Let's see if there's anything new that he talks about. Trapmore Gang. What's good, y'all?
Trapmore Gang. There is a clip going around on Reddit right now that is kind of disturbing, and it involves me and David. There's a clip from a video that I did quite a few weeks ago, where I basically talked about a TikTok live where somebody basically has an argument and pops online defending.
Hey, shout out to Chloe. You brought your bestie with you. Thank you for hanging out. And shout out to Heather for hanging out too.
David, and I'm not going to lie, their voice sounds suspiciously like David. A lot of people are convinced online that this mysterious person who sounds just like David, who is arguing on David's behalf, might actually have been, according to some people, David himself. Trying to defend himself online. But what some people have noticed that completely went over my head at the time is that this David sound-alike might have accidentally slipped up and revealed exactly when the murder of Celeste
a year ago,
Hernandez,
right?
The 14-year-old girl that was found deceased in the trunk of David's Tesla, parked a few streets away from his home. He might have accidentally revealed exactly when this murder took place.
I wonder if he's talking about that TikTok video where there's like about 8 people who are in the chat, and we can actually play that video because we have it ourselves. But I'm curious to see what his take on this is. And it is pretty telling.
I'm pretty surprised about what I'm hearing. I kind of I don't know if I'm really I don't know if I'm even ready for what I'm about to show you guys, okay? But what's happening is this clip has been going around, and I saw this on the David2 subreddit. This is just under an hour ago, and I was like, hang on a minute, what is this clip? And then I watched it, and I was like, damn, wait a minute. That's a bit crazy. Now, before I show you this, I want to remind you something. So yesterday I did this video, David caught with more incriminating evidence. And the crux of this video was actually the fact that it was the exact 1-year anniversary of the last time that Celeste Rivas Hernandez was actually proven to be alive. This photograph that, as you can kind of see on the left side of the thumbnail here, it's a photograph of Celeste wearing a hoodie with holes in it. The private investigator, Steve Fisher, who is actually working with the owner of the property that David...
Hey, shout out to Heather for becoming a member of the Inner Circle. Thank you so much, Heather. Welcome to the Inner Circle.
David was living in when the body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez was discovered in the Tesla parked outside. SF investigates, that private investigator. He just revealed this picture, and this picture is the last known existing piece of proof of Celeste actually being alive. Now, in this video, if you want to go and learn more about that, you can go and watch this video. In this video, it's basically shown that David slipped up, and a few days or a day after...
Who said that? Foxy Amazon said Adam22. I love what BJ calls him. Adam, what is it? Adam 22, Adam 16, 22 Graham Mason.
after this image was taken, he actually slipped up and posted a picture of himself. If you can see his little zesty pose that he's doing on the right-hand side of this image, he slipped up and had the hoodie that Celeste was wearing in the background of the picture. Now, that was very incriminating, and it was exactly a year yesterday that that picture on the left side was taken. I made that video, and I thought, damn, that's pretty crazy that like, that's another piece of just incriminating slip-up evidence that's been left out there. But now, with this, okay, you're going to hear in this clip this David sound-alike talking about the victim Celeste has been unalived for like a year. Now, this was at the end of October 2024. So this would have been, it would have been slightly less than a year from this recorded, I don't know, debate on TikTok. It would have been within like, say, 2 months of that last picture of Celeste that was taken. But now, as we are now at the anniversary of the last time that she was actually seen, it sounds a little bit ominous. And he doesn't say exactly a year. He says for like a year. It's very close. And again, there's been all these rumors that maybe she died in August of 2025, May. There's a few different dates and different timelines that haven't quite been proven yet. But, you know, the rumor coming out of the police department was that she had actually died in the spring of 2025. That's quite a large window.
That's actually
that
not
happen. But now that this
confirmed.
clip's been going around, if you believe that this is David on the other end of the phone.
So for any of you guys paying attention, right? Let's kind of go back, right? Because LAPD did not say she died. All they said was they were looking into a trip that David took in the springtime. And so they are really paying attention to it.
Department was that she had actually died in the spring of 2025. That's quite a large window of a few months.
So correction, we don't know if she died in the springtime. And Trapmore Ross, if you're watching this, get at me. Got some info for you.
That's where that could have happened. But now that this clip's been going around, if you believe that this is David on the other end of the phone, it is a little bit telling, and it might be a little slip up where it's like, what do you mean almost a year? Like, you know a little too much about when this minor died. As far as we were concerned, it was less than half a year. From October of 2024 to the spring, that would have probably been, by the way, this should say 2025. So it should be October of 2020.
So on October 1st, that was when we learned that David hired the attorney. And I talked about this in one of the lives that I did. It's called Controlling the Narrative. I literally broke down the moment we started seeing damage control take place. And that was when, what was the first one? The very first video that came out was when they talked about Celeste Rivas Hernandez being a little firecracker with her neighbors and talking smack to the Southsiders. That was on September 28th. Then on September 29th, that's when the ex-boyfriend came out on TMZ and talked about how disgruntled her family was and how much she hated everything and everything was just bad at home. And then on October 1st, that's when LA Magazine came out with Lauren Conlon came out on LA Magazine and did her exclusive saying that they hired Blair Burke as the attorney. And that's when I did a little bit of digging into LA Magazine. And that's when I discovered that LA Magazine was owned by none other than Harvey Levin's partner, Mark Garagos. So that was pretty funny. It was just day after day after day, we had something coming out. It's like a little hit piece on Celeste. So if you guys want to, you guys can just go back, take a look at one of the lives that I did. We talked about Controlling the Narrative. So that one was pretty good.
Because this happened in 2025. But it would have been half a year. It wouldn't have been like a year. It would have been half a year. It would have been less than half a year. If she died in August, it would have only been 4 months. That would have been a quarter. So let's hear what's going on.
That when she first went missing. So
she's been unalive for like a year.
Fake news, boo.
A lot of people think that's David's voice. Now, I can't confirm or deny whether that's David's voice. Maybe we should put it up.
Me discovering things by myself. Like, I don't get sent too much music. You're just on the...
Yeah, she's been unalive for like a... She's been unalive for like a year.
Fake.
It's so crazy. Yeah, I'm just, bro, my screen time is crazy. My screen time is so crazy. I'll just be on SoundCloud just looking for like old demos and stuff, like Jeff Buckley demos, unreleased stuff, radio.
Unreleased stuff, unalived. Sounds similar to me.
Missing. So
she's been unalive for like a year.
Fake.
has unreleased projects, things that didn't make albums. I'm just looking for the oddballs and the outliers of popular artist music because I feel like when I'm making my own music and there's stuff that doesn't make the album is low-key your best work. So
Let's
that's
hear
a
him
big
say the
thing
word
for me,
alive.
especially with a Tommy and my alter ego, keeping these concepts and things alive and very visual and easy to
Alive.
She's been unalive for like a year.
Fake and
understand for the fan. Ego, keeping these concepts and things alive and very visual and easy.
Alive.
so
She's been unalive for like a year.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's crazy.
Sounds a bit similar to me.
Especially with a Tommy and my alter ego, keeping.
You know, if you want to really compare the way it sounds, you compare this video to that video that we were just watching, and then also compare it to the swatting call. Those oh, no notification, Storm. You didn't get a notification. I'm so sorry. We got to work on that, definitely. But if you listen to the SWAT call, you listen to this interview, and then you compare it to the voice on that that little TikTok live, it's kind of hard to dispute, right? I mean, obviously, we're never gonna know if that really was him or not, but they do sound similar.
These concepts and things alive and very visual and easy to understand for the fans, because once they hear the album,
Got the word "yeah." We got. I can find the exact words that he used in that allegedly in that one.
Making this music and montages to go with it.
bro, I'm still that kid in the closet. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, bro. I dropped a Fortnite montage to what I'm still that kid in the closet. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, bro.
Years ago.
She's been unalive for like a year.
fake news, boo.
Yeah, she's been unalive for like a year. And to clarify, your nose doesn't change shape without surgery.
Theory.
There he is taking jabs.
And now it's interesting. He says nose. Does he say nose? If he says nose in this interview, I'm gonna flip my lid. Every single word he says in that, he says in this. Now, that doesn't mean anything, but it's like, bro, let's hear it.
I kept one on my nose, but
On my nose.
And to clarify, your nose doesn't change shape without.
yeah, my era, they're gone now. I kept one. I kept one on my nose, but yeah, my mom.
On my nose.
A year.
Fake news, boo.
Yeah, she's been unalive for like a year. And to clarify, your nose doesn't change shape without.
It's
Made in them. On now.
the accent sounds identical to
I
me.
kept one on my nose.
No, you can definitely tell with that swatter. Yeah, there's a voice changer on it. However, the cadence of his voice, though, sounds very, very similar. And we can revisit that too.
On my nose. It does sound a bit similar, doesn't it? Let's hear the rest of this and I'll read you what people are saying because this is just blowing my mind.
Hold on. Now I want to hear the swatting call.
Celeste been.
One second. D4VD SWAT call. Hold on, let me make sure that we can find it. Okay, hold on.
Let's start here.
We're gonna pull this video up really quick. We're gonna show this one.
I do clarifications on audio.
Let
County Sheriff's Office is Amber. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, Waller County Sheriff's Office.
Hello, I need help.
Okay, what's going on? Where are you at?
My address is...
Okay, what's going on?
I heard, some, gunshots.
Okay. How close
keep
to
playing
your
that.
residence were they?
They were, right outside my house, and I think someone's dead.
Okay, what's your name?
Say it again?
What's your name?
Dom is the goat.
Okay, what's a good phone number for you, sir? Okay, and why do you believe that somebody's dead?
I just heard, a loud scream, and there was, gunshots.
Oh, scream. Okay.
Yeah, on his time is when you guys will hear that. Yeah.
News.
It's this one right here.
After shots. Okay, but you haven't saw or heard anything else after that?
I heard a scream.
Was it a male or a female scream, do you think?
It was like a female.
Female? Okay, we're going to go ahead and get deputies headed out that way and just confirming you're at.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to get them sent that way, okay?
Storm says, few things I'm good at, voice recognition, and I think it's Neo. Mac Dizzle says, yes, that's him. Foxy says, no, I think it's Neo too. Storm says, it's Neo. All right, well, we're just going to have to take a poll on it. Hold on, let me put this poll out. Whose voice was on the SWAT call? And then, wait, hold on. It's not letting me do it. 1 second. How do we do this? Okay, let's start a poll. There you go. Whose voice was on the SWAT call? Was it David or Neo? You guys decide. And I believe you, Storm. If you're really good at voice recognition, then I might have to change my vote. Let's see. So far, oh, wow. Okay, we'll leave this up for a couple of minutes so the people who are lurking in the background can vote too. Missy said, now those two sound alike. I think that's him. Catalina, who? You think it's Neo or David? Sounds like Neo, not David. Or now we're probably going to have to go back and watch a video on Neo. We're going to have to watch that 4th of July video again. All right, let's go back and see what Trap says.
Yeah, she's been unalive for like a year. And to clarify, your nose doesn't change shape without surgery. Your nose.
And now it's interesting, right? Whoever this is, they're saying she's been unalive for like a year, and now the body was only found 1 month ago. All right, and everybody's saying, oh, she probably passed away in August, maybe at the start of the year. Now, whoever this is, that sounds a lot like David, is saying, yeah, she was unalived a year ago. I actually forgot that I even noticed that. My bad, but still, like, that's super, super interesting. So,
but yeah, my mom hated him. Isn't that them as well? It became an inconvenience to wash my face. It became an inconvenience to sleep on them. Sometimes they would just hurt.
Catsier says, why Neo? What specifically?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, sounds a lot like him. So in late October of 2025, people were live on TikTok discussing the case. David, allegedly David, decided to join the live stream boxes, oopsie-daisy, from a fake account, now deleted, and defend himself. In doing so, he slipped up and said Celeste had been dead for almost a year. He then went on to post a still meme from the TV show You, along with some cryptic comments on his TikTok story. He said something along the lines of him not being able to help himself because he was obsessed. I no longer have this.
All right, Foxy, send me a pair too,
like
so I can have the expensive ones.
It absolutely does sound like, in my opinion, it does sound like him. He's not using a voice changer. He's just changing his own voice. You could hear the echoes of whatever room he's in as he's speaking. I mean, he did say he was in the closet. It's not the dramatic change of his normal pitch and tonality. I would argue it's not a change at all. I can genuinely not believe that people think that. Feel free to compare with other clips and vids of him speaking. Throughout the full 8 minutes, he uses words and phrases that David says all the time. Do not confuse this with people using AAVE slang willy-nilly. Everybody has their go-tos, and as a Gen Z myself, I don't say everything that he does. Above all, it's less about how he sounds in this particular clip and more about what the F he says. How the hell would a random know or say that Celeste had been dead for almost a year when no one suspected that at the time? Oh, probably because it's allegedly the murderer telling you when he did it. Obviously, think what you want. The investigators are doing their job, but get real. This is David. You can find the full stream on TLR's YouTube page. Full version was posted here. Not sure what happened. Death and for the record, once again, a really interesting, useful, and important piece of content is being scrubbed from Reddit. This is why people say, oh, Traveler Ross, you're making video. No, I'm preserving evidence every single day of the week. This was 2 months ago. They can't find this interview on Reddit. Oh, but good. It's been backed up and preserved on my channel. So there you go. All right. Patiently waiting for a Reddit.
Shout out to Trapmore Ross, who's reading all of our Reddit post.
To find a pic of the room in David's house and explain how the reverb and echo matches the acoustics of the room perfectly. If he's dumb enough to go on live trying to defend himself on a burner account, he's dumb enough to have done it. He's a 10-year-old trapped in a 20-year-old's body. He definitely seems like the type to be dumb enough to do this, so I wish they'd let him talk, let his guard down, and drop nuggets like unalive for a year. He could not stay off social media. He's addicted. How does he know that she's been unalive for a year? No one mentioned anything about that. Him saying she was unalived a year ago is wild. It does sound like him. I ain't going to say it's David, but if it is, defending yourself this way is extremely dumb. If it isn't, then the guy looks weird for writing for a suspected PDF so hard. I honestly find it hard to, like, I'm not trying to put anything on anybody, but in my opinion, it's like, what is the likelihood that somebody would hop on here and defend David? That's already a low likelihood event. What is the likelihood that
Storm, that's a great question. I don't even think I've ever heard him talk before.
someone would hop on here and have the exact same voice as David? What is the likelihood that someone that isn't David would hop on here to defend David with the exact same voice and intonation as David, and he would also know that the girl would have been unalive for a year? I don't know, man. He was saying if it's actually him, that is wild. He's not swaying the public, saying everybody runs away. Girl, no, what the F we don't. She did say she had a past life of running away. That's him. He's speaking as if he spoke to her.
And after this, Misty said, what did she say? Have y'all heard the brothers songs he put out on SoundCloud, like D4, the same beats? I'm wondering if it's really David. Actually, I have one of his songs and we'll play it. It's on SoundCloud. And if it gets flagged or copyrighted, we'll just cut this part out. But I'll definitely show you a song between David and his brother, Caleb. So they do have a song together. And I will warn you guys, David does sound a little bit different. If that's really him, it's different.
Wow.
I'm not trying to like history of like running away like it was the child's fault. What I did say is that she had
I'm not on your live, babe.
running away. Yeah,
I'm not on your live.
Yeah, I just don't care. She did say she had a past history of like running away and stuff like that.
She did say, what, to you?
But it's not trying to like blame.
Okay, and hella kids do too. Shit.
Hey,
hella,
host, I don't know if you said like
hella fucking kids run away too. Shit, I was a runaway. Shit, every fucking body runs away.
I don't care if you were a runaway. I didn't ask.
What the hell are you talking about?
Ava, I think you said like 2 interruptions per guest. Is that like still applying here or what?
It's crazy. It sounds just like him, man. It sounds just like him. That one is wild. That one is actually wild, and I like this comment. Wow. It sounds like him in the beginning, but then the person's voice changes to where it don't sound like it. It sounds like an older
swear
guy.
to God.
He said she was unalive a year ago. 1, no one confirmed she was unalive. 2, no one confirmed it was a year ago. If it's him, that's actually so sick. Honestly, most killers actually go on the
The brother does make music, man.
try and control the narrative. You can tell it's David. There's no other black young men trying to sound intellectual with a false cadence to try and sound smarter than the younger people he comes across. That's
the brother actually made a song called "Say What You Want," and it's funny because the clip art or the thumbnail for that video on YouTube was a video of him singing right in front of the shed. So that one was weird. But now that video has been scrubbed from the internet and nobody can find it. So if you can find it, swear to God, send it to me.
how he takes advantage of people who buy into the gimmick. It is interesting. He's very condescending in this, whoever it is. It's very condescending. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's how you be speaking to these younger people you come around. It's very interesting. It fits in with the character that we know. He sounds like David. It's not just the voice, it's the cadence, how he speaks, the slight southern accent that comes out occasionally, which matches David's if you look at his interviews. Not to sound like a bigot either, but there's a sort of lingering on certain syllables commonly found in the stereotypical.
Heather, thank you for hanging out. Get some rest. It's 2 a.m. where you're at. So thank you for hanging out. We appreciate you stopping by and showing the channel some love.
American gay woman voice he's doing here that David did in his streams, especially the one with Celeste. Delete everything. There's also a part of the video where a girl says this and always, a girl said this and this N is always on TikTok in reference to David, and the guy who sounds like him immediately went, no, I'm only on once or twice a day. So unless there's a guy who coincidentally sounds similar to David, talks similar to him, is heavily invested in defending David and acts as childish David, then it's probably him. That's what I think. It's like the likelihood that there's not many people trying to look out for David regardless, but like the fact is that like somebody would want to defend him full stop and then also sounds like him is crazy. It does sound like him in his cadence, that's wild, but equally it could be a troll being a jerk at home bored for fun. Very interesting stuff though. Totally raised my blood pressure listening to that chaos. It is interesting. So let's see what, there was only a couple of comments on this, but people just saying oof. People saying a year ago would have been roughly, you guessed it, January 2024. Actually, it would have been October 2024. Things are a little bit different, okay? And this is a bit off. He says, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. The only real question it remains is why he did it in the first place. I found the TikTok story he posted after this. Says, unfortunately, I'm a little obsessed. And it says, the MF I turn into when she gives someone else the slightest bit of attention. I don't know who this is, but is this some kind of killer? It says, if you can want to see some even crazier stuff, he debated the political TikToker Dean Withers on that same account before deleting it. Listen to this faceless loser's voice and tell me it's not David. We know it's the same account as David, because when the Celeste stream screen recording came out, people were in the comments saying David had literally just talked to Dean. Dean only posts his own face on his YouTube recaps and streams, so you can't see who joined.
Missy, if you have the link to that video, send it, because I don't think I've ever seen that video.
From the TikTok live, unless you're physically in the live stream like the commenters were. Let's get into it. And it says you can hear more of him come out in the Dean debate. He starts dropping his guard. It says as the speaker on the phone saying the nose only grows, it doesn't change shape. Ha, that's what growing is, knucklehead. I do not believe him. That's him at all, but you never know. Said that's obviously not him. He sounded white. Y'all believe anything? Can we trust this person? Says he doesn't sound white to my black ass ears. Now look, I don't know. Okay, I don't know. It says not here, not the full 8 minutes. Not when he debates Dean, especially when they bring up slavery. You can go and listen to other clips of him, especially when he code switches in interviews. It's just not usually this hard. He's obviously trying to disguise himself. Black people aren't a monolith, and I would recognize our voices. No matter the accent, 30 miles away, stop with the BS. I don't know if that's really true. Anyway, imagine getting your news reports from a money-hungry YouTuber like Traplaw Ross. Well, imagine, right? Traplaw Ross, the #1 and most credible news source there is. Like that one, dislike that one. Well, imagine, right? Imagine if Traplaw Ross wasn't out here preserving this information, you wouldn't have kept hold of this clip, right?
And imagine if those people on Reddit that you've been reading haven't been posting.
Right? You wouldn't have this. You can't find the original because it's been deleted, and I have preserved that information for you guys. You're welcome, right? And if the LAPD want to use that, they don't even need to reach out to me. It's on my channel. You can go and rip it from my channel if you wish, okay? But you probably subpoena Reddit. But anyway, let's hear about this.
It sounds like you're now challenging the notion that women should be able to vote, right?
Do they really use it all that often, though?
Yeah, women vote.
But not as much as men do, right?
Okay. Well, okay. So you're saying that men vote at higher rates compared to women. Older people vote at higher rates than 25-year-olds. Should we take the right to vote away from all 25-year-olds?
No, not 25-year-olds.
Okay. So should we take the right to vote away
Wow,
from women?
whoever this person is sounds exactly like the person doing the SWAT call and the person in that live. That is really weird. This is new.
Apparently men vote at higher rates compared to women.
Well, I don't think they're emotionally stable enough to make decisions on like voting in American politics.
So they're saying that this could be him. Now, I'm not going to sit here and watch this entire thing. I think what would be good is if maybe we search for a few words that are similar. Let's say a year.
How many of you guys have heard this before? This is the first time that I'm hearing this specific video from Dean Withers. So this is new. Wow.
But I agree with him trying to, put up to like a year punishment for like burning the
4, 5, 6, 7, 4 of it. I love that. I love that.
How many ways have you heard people pronounce?
How long did it take you to come up with this? Because when you were on our show 2 years ago, you said literally the other day.
Okay, we got all these other people saying yeah. Can we get?
Holy fuck!
Actually,
sorry.
1, 2, 5. Holy balls!
Damn.
5.
But in 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Let's get David saying yes. Where did I lose that?
I actually experienced them. And it's like, yo, I really said this about myself 2 years ago.
Is it
2 years ago?
Put up to like a year punishment for like burning the flag in public.
Okay. So do you think that it should be legal to specifically burn the flag?
Not in public.
I'm just asking you. So you think it should be illegal to burn it in public? Do you think that it should be like illegal to have like a campfire in public?
If it's not in a controlled space.
Okay.
Happening.
But is it what you really expected?
It's weird because I have such a weird view and take on situations like that because I'm always looking.
Did you say situations?
Like abortion. It's like
the very few situations where they.
Damn, wrong person. What else does he say? What else could he say that's like
can be right? Majority of violent crime logical and
I would say there's a good chunk of it that is sure.
Okay, so a vast majority, 60-40, violent crime that you think. Yeah, what exactly? That is reasonable and logical.
Are you serious?
Yes.
10th grand on that. All right, go ahead with your argument. That's insane. Okay, say I give you a 10th grand on that. All right, go ahead with your argument.
Okay, so now that we've agreed, emotional, look at 92 that would not require violence on the internet.
Are the end goal of arson, right? How do you classify arson, real quick, just to clarify?
Could he say classify? Is he going to say classify? No. What else does he say?
Looking for writing material in these types of things. So instead of taking it to the chin, being like, oh my God, like, I'm heartbroken. Like, I go straight to my phone or band lab, go straight to the studio and write about it. I never actually like fully process situations like that because I'm always expecting it to happen. And then as soon as it happens, I'm writing about it. So
Siri.
Damn. I want to get one more comparison. I'm not going to lie, I just found like a bit of a creepy statement. Obviously, we talked about the withered scrapbook and him kind of snitching on himself a little bit in the scrapbook of that. But listen to this little line that I just found.
Just living life and it feeling.
This album is my life. Like, Withered is my life. Petals of Thorns and Lost Petals are what I wanted my life to be. And then Withered is my life.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So where do they align at all?
They do indeed, because like I said, I kind of felt like it was a prophetic thing that I was speaking about heartbreak and love and all these things I had never experienced before, but then I actually experienced them, and it's like, yo, I really said this about myself 2 years ago. It's happening.
But is it what?
Stop. You really said you was going to do it 2 years ago. Now it's happening.
You really expected?
It's weird because I have such a weird view and take on situations like that because I'm always looking for writing material in these types of things. So instead of taking it to the chin, being like, oh my God, like, I'm heartbroken, like, I go straight to my phone or band lab, go straight to the studio and write about it. I never actually like fully process situations like that because I'm always expecting it to happen. And then as soon as it happens, I'm writing about it. So
you're expecting, because I understand, like, you go
basically, yeah.
But you saying expecting it, meaning like you get into a friendship expecting it to end in a devastating, tragic, sad way, so it can inspire art. But are you manifesting that in a certain degree?
I don't know. I hope I'm not. I really hope I'm not, because it feels that way. Because like I look back to old songs like "Life's a Dream" and all these songs I wrote in my closet or my sister's closet in 2022 when I'm looking at my life in the past 8 to 9 months. I'm like, whoa, like, bro, these songs are soundtracking my life. So I hope I'm not involuntarily doing that, but it might be that way. Not gonna lie.
Interesting.
Might be that way, you know. Might be that way. Might be that way, man. Might have manifested some of those things. So look, in my opinion, it sounds a lot like him. It does sound suspiciously like him. This idea of that she was unalived a year ago is just crazy.
Yeah, now I want to find that video.
That was seemingly known. We didn't know this at that stage. That was very suspicious. But at the same time, it might not be him. There's some little inflections that you do think maybe that's a different person. Maybe they're changing their voice. Maybe there's a voice change, and maybe somebody is impersonating David. So we don't know. I did think that was interesting. I wanted to share that with you guys. And as always, man, I'm just trying to keep track of everything that's going on in this case, okay? Don't care about anybody hating. I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, okay? This is a public case. This is a story in the public interest regarding a public figure. This dude has 5 billion streams, okay? So why don't you guys go and get angry about David, who's still running it up off the streams, having had no accountability? A dead minor was found in the trunk of his car, and there's a bunch of information going around online that would seem to suggest that he might have been in a relationship, according to some people's opinion, with that minor that was found deceased in the trunk of his car. So before you point the finger at me, all right, and I'm sure that there are some people that would love to deflect the attention away from themselves to me, but let's not lose sight of the fact that this teenager was found in the trunk of David's car, and there's still been no justice. So I'll keep you guys updated. I will keep preserving the information and keep Celeste's name alive. Rest in peace to her. And I'm excited for us to hopefully eventually get justice. And if I can play even just a tiny little team.
So let me ask you guys, do you guys think whoever made that phone call into Dean Withers, do you think that was David? That one was weird. Let me just go back because I do want to find this video. Maga Bro argues man. I'm just gonna have to save this video and watch it later. Great point, though. Not really? Ah. That's really odd. This one was odd. I want to circle back around and watch a video regarding Ashley Banfield. Let me see. Or Ashley Banfield interviews SF Investigates because... Let me just make sure, because we haven't been able to visit some of this stuff yet. This one's 11 minutes, so let's go back.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Banfield, and this is Drop. And if you haven't heard of it yet, what show?
It's Atlas. Poor Atlas passed away. All right, let's see if there's anything new that we need to pick up from this interview.
Hard to forget, right? Also, tell your friends they can use it too. Don't miss the seasonal products. Okay, back to the case. I had a conversation with a private investigator who got his hands on some pretty jarring video. Video of the singer David's Tesla as it's driving away from his mansion, and it ends up in a place where it was abandoned. And guess what? The window was partly down. And so, yeah, the person driving was visible. Here's my conversation with Steve Fisher. Take a listen.
How certain are you that this video of the car driving away from David's mansion is the last time it drove and ended up at the spot where it was abandoned, likely with that body inside?
I'm certain. Listen, I can't say 100% because there's not a camera trained on that Tesla once it's parked. Continuously that I've seen. I mean, there likely is a camera, but I've seen the car driven to that spot, and with the dates,
He did.
the date that it was, and they left town right after that. I'm certain that is the last time the car was driven. It was put there with her, in the front trunk.
And there's one weird detail about what you could, well, there's a lot of weird details, and I'm going to get to what you saw through the driver's side window in a second, but there was an air freshener that was found in the car at this point that we see on our screen where it was abandoned. Was that air freshener also hanging from the rear view mirror when it drove off from David's house?
It wasn't, but the window was half to 3/4 of the way down, which is odd because it was a very short drive. And also at that, on that day, this is the very end of July 29th, it was like 78 degrees at that time in the morning, or 77 degrees. And if it was on the street where the house is, so it's shaded by the house. So, if you're going, I don't know why the window would be rolled down unless there's something, offensive there. And then all of a sudden, one of the first things I picked up on when the news first broke about the her being found in there, where they were towing the car away from the impound lot to LAPD, was why on a $104,000 car is there a Christmas tree air freshener hanging from the from the mirror? It seemed kind of odd to me, but I guess maybe they thought.
Wait, Foxy, did you get that?
LAPD was why on a $104,000 car is there a Christmas tree air freshener hanging from the.
There, Foxy. We found it. Make sure, let me know when you wrote it down. I don't know if I can zoom in or not. Nope. Well, let me zoom in. But there it is, right there.
From the mirror, it seemed kind of odd to me, but I guess maybe they thought that would help, mask it for when they had to move the car again.
If there was that smell at that time, because again, we have no idea when Celeste started decomposing in that trunk. We don't know if she'd been decomposing in the trunk for a long time before it ended up being, the car ended up being abandoned. But talk to me about the date of this video, July 29th, and talk to me about what you saw. What did you see in terms of the identity of the person driving through that open window?
So it's very clearly that Tesla, one, because the Tesla has that tape on the rear for whatever reason. I don't know why it's there. And also, it was just like it is in that picture. It was that dirty, except you could tell that they had run the windshield wiper like once to clear the dirt away so they could see.
Baby.
And it comes very close to the camera, although there is some motion blur, but you can see the person and you can see what they're wearing something pretty distinctive. And there's photos that I have from 12 hours earlier, a person at the house wearing the same thing.
I have to agree with you, Storm, because you guys would probably never guess that I'm a registered nurse and I teach nursing students. Just by the way I act on my lives. But yeah, no, definitely. If it was your profession, you'd probably be able to, you'd have that ability to kind of turn that switch on and off and, kind of get into character, I guess you can say.
And I know that the viewers right now are screaming at the TV set saying, Ashley, ask him who it was.
I mean, I honestly wish I could tell you. I don't want to, I don't want to interfere with LAPD on that.
And obviously, right, it's apparent that the reason why he can't tell us, right, because he's told us so many things. And who was it? Gold Digger, one of our supporters here in the inner circle, has mentioned time and time again that many of the things that we've been talking about on this case have come directly from SF Investigates. And if it wasn't for him, right, some people are hit or miss on SF Investigates. Some people like him, some people hate him, some people don't care for the job that he's doing. Me personally, I'm a little, back and forth, right? But I understand the nature of his job, right? He does know what he's doing. He is a private investigator and he has, found many people before in the past. So if it wasn't for him, we would have absolutely nothing to talk about because the medical examiner, the LAPD, they aren't giving us anything, right? And you can't knock him for that because he is giving us things to talk about. He is ensuring that, we do keep her name alive. And, and a shout out to everybody on the Reddits that are doing the crazy super duper deep dives, because if it wasn't for them, then a lot of people wouldn't be talking about a lot of stuff.
And I think that's coming because we know a crime was committed 100%. Somebody concealed her body, and hey, maybe this. The reason I want to say the person's name is because maybe this person was just someone that was asked to move the car, and didn't know. I find that very hard to believe, and I doubt that's the case. But just in case, I'd rather LAPD make that announcement.
Well, and it's important for us to.
I mean, that statement right there tells me, he's not going to release the name of who the driver is because obviously that person is guilty of something, right?
All viewers as well, that you turned all this material over to them. You're the one who found it. You're the one who took it to them. You're the one who said, and I connected it to the photos from just 12 hours earlier. And here's the clothing. Welcome. It looks like this could be an ID. July 29th, important because that was the last day that David was in Los Angeles, right? But before he went off on his tour. So he was there in Los Angeles on that day that drive happened.
Yeah, I've seen on one of his public social medias, he had put a video out where it was the first day on their new tour bus because they were going to San Francisco for the first night of the concert series, and they did a video from inside the tour bus. So I believe hours after that car was moved, they actually got on the tour bus.
Yeah, after this, we're gonna play a song from David and his brother. So hang tight, you guys. And then where's who was it in the chat earlier? Said they were gonna send me a picture of both Celestes. Who was it? I'm trying to look right now. Misty, did you ever send it? Because I didn't get it. Oh, just kidding. Let me see. Oh, okay. All right, I do see it. Misty, I'm taking a look at your photo right now, and I think that we've discovered quite some time ago that person who is next to David in that photo is Vanessa, and it's not Celeste. So Vanessa is someone who's been brought up very frequently, but I don't know if she really has any connection to the whole thing. But they do include her in his close circle of friends.
Let me ask you this, and I only have a couple seconds left, but you found some other suspicious things. The landlord, as you know, we obviously know now, allowed you into the house, and you saw some things in there.
But thank you for sending me that email. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you do have anything else, please continue to send me stuff. Mod, if you can put the email in the chat for me, please.
That were very uncomfortable and very suspicious. I know you can't say certain things, but what can you tell us about what you saw inside the house?
Well, this is
Uh-oh. Shout out to David is guilty in the chat. What's up, David is guilty?
the landlord found it also, but there were some things in there that were.
And if you got some news, I hope it's David is guilty.
Hard to think about because these would be items that would be used if you wanted to get rid of a body, and there's really no other purpose for them at a house like this or anything.
No way. Hold on one second. I have to check this out. Asia deleted her TikToks. Like all of them? Oh, wow. You can't find her account anymore unless she switched up. Asia Collins deleted her TikToks. I don't see her TikTok. Hey, Jake from State Farm. She don't want to go to prison. Yeah, she might be violating her her immunity. But no, I don't see no Princess Mononoke 26. So curious if something got back to her.
And they're expensive items, and so they weren't jokes, and but they weren't used. I'll tell you that they were still in the box. So I don't know how much we'll find out about that in the future because you can't charge somebody for thinking about doing something. But I think
You can't, but it's important to know because the first thing I said when I learned of that was that, well, that can't be possible because the LAPD raided the place and took everything. But you know for a fact that they photographed those things, and they're huge and heavy and expensive,
Yay,
and so
Storm.
they have ample information and photographic evidence of those things.
They said that we inquired about this, and they said that they photographed it. I don't know why they didn't take it. There's two items.
So that's the confirmation right there that that LAPD has taken photos of the burn cage, the chainsaw, but never took it because they didn't find it important, I guess. All right, you guys ready to hear this song that David and his brother did together? Now, David, if you're watching this, don't copyright it, please. Let me find it. I want to see it. She's got another account. All right, you guys ready to hear this song? This is a song called Beat It Up. It's a freestyle that Caleb and his brother D4VD did. This is on SoundCloud, so this is an exclusive. You're hearing it first. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, right. All right, you guys, this is it, okay? We're going to play this song. I want to get your guys' reaction to it. Do you guys think if it's a hit or a miss? Or get that shit the fuck out of here? Oh, what? No, come on. Do we really have to? Okay, fine. Let's sign into it. Da-da-da-da-da.
Stupid. Stupid.
So this is supposed to be David singing. I'm assuming this part right here is David.
They know who running the city. I'm whipping exotics and they got a top down. They love it when I come around. They love it when they hear the sound. If you run up on me, I'ma clap. Glock make them take a nap. I don't care what you're saying. Oh, black, we black, you can see it.
This is Caleb. They sure did. They sure did mention something about a freezer.
I'm making money while laughing at y'all. I'm staying ready for when it comes. Yeah, I'm on the road. I'm on the road. Yeah, well in the roads. Yeah, keeping my cool. Yeah, ready to move. Yeah, ready to move. Yeah,
All right, you guys, I want to know. Oh, hold on. Okay. So earlier we wanted to know, was that his voice on a SWAT call? 58% of you guys said it was David. 42% of you guys said it was Neo. So I'm going to ask you guys this question right here. Was this song hit or a miss? Can I add another one? All right, you guys ready? There you go. Now I want you guys to vote. Only honest answers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'd call it a bop, but can't listen to music by murderers. I totally agree. I don't know if I can support somebody who is involved in the murder of a 14-year-old teen. Kind of sucks, right? But yeah, so that is the latest. Let's do a quick recap, right? Obviously, we have this image right here. This is image that I just kind of enhanced the coloring on, brought it back to its original color from this image right here. This is the original one, and please, I understand if you guys want to know, yes, I ran this image through AI, and I asked AI to remove the colored filter, right? And what did AI do? It manipulated a little bit of it, right? It sharpened up a little bit of the features, but this is absolutely true color of what this image would have looked like if there was no filter added to it. So the only reason, again, I don't know if I have to explain this to you guys, but the only reason why I did this was really just so you guys can see the color of this sweater and understand that it is the same color as this sweater that he has lying on his floor, right? There goes that camera again, right? What else did we talk about? Okay, people want to point out the flaws in that photo. I get it. Again, we had Ginny the Ween also mentioned that there are more photos that were taken on January 2nd. None of us have seen that photo yet. So these are some of the photos that have been maybe not posted, but taken earlier in that day. As this photo right here was taken at 5:05 p.m. on January 2nd. What else do we know? What else do we know? This was taken at the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. And then we visited this place earlier today. Let's see, Baldwin Hills. And just, you know, did a whole walkthrough over this place. You're able to kind of take a look at the house that she was facing. And let's go, before we go, we'll watch that video again of that position. So I'll play this for you guys right now. You guys, we'll watch this and then we'll call it a night, you guys. So I'm standing here right about where we believe the photo may have been taken. Now, if you guys can see those two orange little stone entranceways for their gate, it's actually a lot closer than it appears in the video. But this appears to be right where she was at, standing when she took the photo. And if you guys turn this way, right, and you guys wonder what she was looking at, there was absolutely no scenic route for her to view. So she was standing here, or even if she was standing, let's go down a little bit more, and just say she was standing here. You can hear my ass out of breath. Really is nothing to look at. Huffing and puffing. You know, view right there. But other than that, there's really not much to see out there. So I'm curious why she was standing there. So that was a video of where Celeste was standing when that photo was taken at the Baldwin Hills Scenic Overlook. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for tonight, you guys. It is almost midnight over here on January 3rd. So again, for all of you guys that are in the chat, thank you guys for hanging out. Let me give a shout out. Misty, you're glad you found my channel. You subscribed. See you on the others. Thank you, Misty, for hanging out. Hopefully, we see you again at our next live. David is Guilty said, Asia's deleting her channel makes me wonder if she's been bullcrapping about not going to jail. Maybe she don't have immunity. Or maybe the LAPD saw her post that comment where she was saying the LAPD is not going to arrest her, and I hope it helps. Maybe they saw that comment and said, hey, little lady, not so fast. But Asia, if you want to come onto the show and you want to speak your mind, you want to set the record straight, you can always come to my channel. I'll give you a platform. You know, it's way smaller than yours, but I'll definitely give you a platform to clear the air if you're up for it, right? But anyways, that's going to be it for me tonight, you guys. I do appreciate you guys. Let me give a shout out to everybody who supported the channel tonight. Jad, thank you so much for donating a membership. Jazzy Jess, thank you for your $3 super sticker. Hey, and then we had Sydney Shea. She opened the case and joined the inner circle. Right? Foxy upgraded her membership to redacted member. Miss Dizzle sent a $4.99 super sticker. And then Jad also donated another membership. So, and then I gifted 5 memberships, and then Jad gifted another membership. Heather became a member of the channel. So again, thank you guys so much for supporting my channel. This is Filling in the Gaps with your boy Flo Joe, or some will call me Flo Zaddy, I guess. All right, I'm not changing my name. All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'll see you guys again. Take care. I love you guys. Peace. Oh my God, how do I get out of here? Oh my God. Oh my God. What am I doing? What am I doing? Take you guys. Peace. I forgot to tell you guys, all of you guys who have joined the inner circle, I'm putting a Discord together. So then that way we can build our own community. So for all of you guys who are still here, I'm putting that Discord up. It is going to be for members only. So if you are a member of the Inner Circle, check the community wall. I'm going to be posting up a link for that very soon. So hang tight. But if you aren't a member, please join the Inner Circle. Yeah, we're back. We're back. I just had to make sure that I put it out there. I forgot. I wanted to tell you guys at the beginning of the stream, but I totally forgot. So we're putting the Discord together, and we're gonna put it up very soon. So hang tight. If you're not a member, become a member. Join the Inner Circle. There's like 4 different tiers that you can join. Pick one. I don't care. You're part of the Inner Circle, right? All right, you guys. Again, thank you for tuning in. I'm out. Peace.